And we are recording. Okay. All right. As always, once again, I'm Brian Kynes, the creator of the Tales of Ulran campaign setting. We use Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition to tell our story, and all the awesome folks that showed up today are going to help me write it one episode and campaign at a time. Just asking everybody to go ahead and give their name and the character they'll be playing. Let's go ahead and start introductions off with Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean, and I'll be playing the Changeling Celine.
Short and sweet, I like it. Let's go ahead and go Colby.
I'm Colby, and I will be playing a barbarian/ranger mix called Kilkus, and he's a human.
Very nice, good deal. Okay, Rachel, you're up.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'll be playing Solon, the bard.
An avian bard. She cut out a little bit there, but that's okay. I got you. You're good.
Sorry.
You're back. No, it's
Okay.
fine. The internet is a wonderful thing. Okay, Jeremy, go ahead. You're up, boss.
I'm Jeremy, and I'll be playing Brahmas, which is a Seraphim Warforged, and it'll be piloted by a human piloted by the name of Merc. And
Nice.
joining me is my familiar.
Very nice. Yeah, Caleb from Critical Role would be proud of you for that, bud. It'd be good. All right, Corey, go ahead, sir.
Hello, I'm Corey. I will be playing Darius, the mysterious, fucked up bard. That's all I want to say right now.
Right on, yeah. No, that covers it, man. That covers it about right. Tonight, Danny will not be able to join us. I had the pleasure of being able to talk to Danny for a little bit earlier. He gave me some ideas of some crazy shit that he might want to do depending on how this unfolds. And then hopefully Alex, which will usually be playing the role of Miyasha, the Philadelphia Tigress dancer class, will be getting back into this at some point. She has a factory job that she is new to now, and because of the shortage of help, she is working 6 days a week, nonstop. And I told her, I said, she's a great player. We're going to hold the spot for her, and when she can get back into this, it'll be that much better. So, moving forward here, the last thing we had going on was the big bad had just went. And this large, celestial kind of like shark had come through a portal on the deck of the ship and bit down hard, giving people damage. And then two people, Valdera, my character, and Silouan, Rachel's character, failed our strength checks and were pulled under the waves. And of course, on a 1d10, we rolled a 10, so we're 10 feet beneath the waves, out in the water off to the side of the ship. And as we're under there, Silouan, we see, there's flashes of lightning that are somewhat illuminating this darkened place. It's very, it's a cold, it's a shock to our systems, but then it's almost like a looming shadow just seems to move over top of us as the big bad, the sea scourge, has moved over top of us, almost trying to prey for us. It's almost like it's fishing for us at this point. With that, I'll go ahead and kick up just a little bit of tunes here, and then we'll jump in and continue with the next series of events. That sound good for everybody? Yes, sir. Okay. Let's go ahead. All right. Let's go ahead and share screen. Advanced. And we're here. Everybody see the map okay? Good deal. Good. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger here. If there's an area of it you can't see and need me to move it, even if it's not your turn, just raise your hand, let me know, and I can hook you up, okay? Let me go ahead. Music okay? Everyone can hear me, and it's not so loud where you can't think, correct? All right, I'm liking it. Okay, so The next person to go in this ridiculous order, after the big bad just went and dragged us out, still one. We're meant for jumping and fighting. We're not meant for this swimming bullshit. It's going to be Caliban. So, he's kind of over here all on his lonesome, to tell you the truth. There's not a whole lot going on for Caliban. I would like for Jeremy to go ahead and roll me a perception check for Caliban, please.
Well,
A 12. Okay. With a 12, I'm going to say that he's not seeing a whole lot about what all's going on here. He knows that this one was knocked over the side of the ship earlier. I don't think he would have noticed Brahmas bounding off and taking care of this stuff over here on the shoreline between these you two. I think he is going to race up here to the aid of everybody else. He just saw this shark go through and clamp down everybody, so I think he's going to go that direction. And when he does, he invokes something that's going to make him look just a little bit different. We do that real quick and we'll move on. Caliban, where are you, buddy? You are right here. Let me find you. There he is. Okay. And let's do this. Alright. The Caliban summons up the earth elemental from inside of him. This gives him almost like a progressively stronger version of almost like the bark skin spell. It's a monk ability. He has to spend ki to do this. This is just a graphic that represents that for him, as he looks even more like he is made out of stone than he typically does. As he does that, his movement is reduced to a degree, but he's extraordinarily steadfast on his feet, and it's hard to move him or knock him off. I think that would be what he would do in light of a shark dragging people over the side of the damn ship. I'm going to move him over here. He is going to bound down the large 10-foot spot and land here, and that will be the end of his movement. As you are standing there, you got to look at him earlier, Darius. But you haven't seen him really in full-fledged combat form. And as he bounds down that 10-foot step and lands, it rocks the boat. I mean, he is an imposing, large figure. And he lands there beside you. If you want to have, if there's anything you'd like to say for theatrics for a brief second, you're more than welcome to. If not, I'll move on.
Yeah, I feel like there's no like vocals. It's just more like a, like kind of like a sudden,
Yeah.
like what the.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it looks like. So yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's go ahead and get him done there. Okay, this is going to be Valdera's turn, my character. She's number 12 in the list. Okay. And when I was looking at this and realized she was going to come up so quick, I was like, man. So I've gave a lot of thought to this, everybody. I've had a week to think about it. And I've also have to realize that she hasn't had a week to think about this. She is very afraid of the water. And she's had some issues before. Danny would know that. I think Jeremy might have a clue to it. So I'm going to roll something for her to see how well I'm able to hold my composure together. And depending on my roll is going to dictate the next step that I take. As me and Silwyn are down underneath the waves. Okay. Rolled a 10. Which is the dice you have to look at for a minute and go, well, now, it's a 10, but it's the bare bones. Okay. Valdera has a lance that she actually acquired from an avian that she rescued just about over a year ago. Dating was part of this campaign. it has an ability that she can use under the water because it doesn't have a verbal component to it. It's using an item. So I want to, this is going to be between me and you for a minute, Rachel. And I kind of want to put a little bit of flavor on this so you can see what's going on here. Okay?
Okay.
So as we're under the waves and it's kind of quiet and your hair's kind of moving around and you can feel that the weight of your armor isn't so much where you can't tread water. Okay? And you see Valdera in the darkness from some of those lightning flashes that are happening up above. She looks over to you, and you can see her reach back on her back, and she pulls out this large silver-looking lance that has the emblem of wings up near the lance head of it. Okay, and this is more of a light spear than this isn't a horseman's lance. She just calls it a lance. This is almost looks like a light kind of magical spear. And as she holds this thing,
Okay.
she holds it up and she points it up above, and she takes her hand and she wants to push you back out of the way because you're both in the water, but I didn't say who was higher, who was lower. I like the fact that I have initiative here, so I can go before you when I'm trying this. I'm going to try to, with a 17 persuasion check, I'm trying to signal for you as like, and she's pushing back. How would Silouan respond to this? You don't know what the hell exactly she's trying to do.
Assuming. Yeah. Can I try to roll against her persuasion check to be like, no, I don't like this idea. Let
Absolutely.
me try.
It is an option, yes.
What you say? You
Mine
said
was
you
17.
rolled a 17, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
And it would be just say, yeah.
Persuasion check, you said?
I mean, yeah, it can also be charisma based as well, yeah.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Plus,
So,
yeah.
plus stuff means you whipped me. So, whatever you're thinking in your mind is more important in this moment than what I'm trying to impose upon you. So, as she's trying to push you off for a minute, what is it you would like to do in this moment as we're underwater? You see the spear, she's going up and she's... But you have your own thoughts here. What's going on?
I have a question. Like, how big is, like, my lance compared to hers? Is mine, like, longer than hers?
Are we comparing the length of our lances here, Rachel? Because I didn't know it was going to be that kind of video.
That was not my intention. But...
I would like to say... God. Oh, and that's the name of the video. That's early. That's early too. You know, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say yours is going to be slightly bigger because when Silouan was played before, your lance was almost the size of a glaive. That's the way it was kind of put out before. This is a weapon that has some size to the end of it. It is something you can pole vault with practically. This thing has got some, yeah. So mine is of avian make.
Okay.
Yours is too, but yours is more of the Blackwing Guard type. They're very similar in make, but yours is going to be bigger. Yeah.
So as I sort of like, sort of slightly like push her aside and I like shake her head like, no, that's try to tell her like that's not a good idea with her weapon, with her lance. I put down my own lance, or I tried to like, try to place it down on like some place like a rock or something, or like, something that will grab onto it and try to pole vault.
Okay. So we're 10 foot deep under the water.
Oh yeah, never mind.
It's okay. So she hears, right? And there's no rocks.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That's okay. But you're thinking about using your own lance for something here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is in that moment, when it's your initiative turn, we'll go through that. Okay? What I'm going to continue to do at this point is I can do a conjure volley or barrage
Okay.
with this
Okay.
lance. Okay?
Sure.
And when she does this, you see her move the thing in a circular fashion. And as she does, she thrusts the lance forward. And what it does, she's kind of fighting fire with fire. She can make this appear anywhere up to 120 foot away from her.
Okay.
And it conjures that volley out of the other side of it as she draws that circle. She actually had
Okay.
this custom made for her, and I thought it'd be badass. I'm wanting to shoot this shit straight up from underneath of the thing that's putting a shadow over top of us. She's
Okay.
not thinking about saving her own ass. She's thinking about fuck this thing for what it did to us, and I'm bringing the pain. So I'm going to cast off that once a day ability that this thing has. As she draws that circle through there, you can see the water kind of shift and move away as it seems to be some kind of opening. And as she thrusts that up through there and finishes the motion required to do this, everyone up top sees a hail of arrows. Or no, sorry, a hail of lances that look very similar to the one that she has. Spear up and shoot up, piercing through the water and striking this thing multiple times. For the hell of it, Corey, roll me a dexterity saving throw, 1d20 and a 1d8.
And you want the total of the two?
Yes, sir.
23.
23.
It's a 17 and a 6.
I almost don't want to do that because you're going to think I'm lying to you.
And just to clarify, is this for my character? Like, do I add stuff, or did you need that for something else?
No, this is for, you're rolling for the big bad here.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I rolled a natural 20 because I do that sometimes. I know, right, Mr. Fancy Pants? It's why it's nice. I almost hate that because it feels like I'm cheating, but I'm not. I promise. But yeah, that yours total was 23.
Yeah.
This would make the DC higher than that. So it's going to be the full damage of it. Let me go ahead and roll these up real quick, and we'll move on. Okay. That's fucking awesome. Good job. Okay. So several, I'm talking like at least 5 or 6 of these spears come up through, pierce through the fins. One catches it up through the undermeat of the arm as this thing scowls, and that dark blood, that blue color, seems to flip and flick in the air as many of these go up through it. After the damage reduction from its armor, 32 points of damage after damage reduction from what it's wearing, as it just got peppered with stuff. Alright, with that, when it comes to its turn, I have to decide how it wants to react to that. Okay, that's going to be that, and with my movement, which is halved underwater, I am going to start kicking my way towards the ship at an incline. Okay? So I'm going to say Valdera gets to... Let's go ahead and make this fair and bring the grid up real quick to make sure I'm not... Already rolled a 20. Need to knock off the shenanigans already. Just a minute here, Valdera. 5, 10, 15. Between everything she did and everything like that, I'm just going to stick with the 15 foot there. And I'm going to say at this point, at the angle she's moving up, she is now only 7 foot under the water. Okay? I rolled a 1d4 to subtract from that 10 that I was down, in case anyone's wondering how I did that. So, make a note of where I am there. 7 foot under. Okay, that's Valdera's turn. Short, sweet, and effective. Blasted that son of a bitch. Okay. With its movement, trying to get out of the way, but still being caught in the radius of this thing did a cone. Corey, since I had you roll the DC for it, as it was trying to dodge out of the way of these arrows and such like that, what direction do you believe the bad guy would have went? What are you thinking? I'm going to move it 15 foot. Not all of its movement, because that would have been an attempt because it failed to get out of the way of the full thing.
Yeah. I would say it would be, if it's dodging, it's just kind of going like strafing. Like to its right, probably.
To its right, so up this way?
Well, if it's facing us, the other way.
Okay. So let's go 5, 10. Let's go about right here. That was its attempt in jumping out of the way. That's something we do with our optional rules. When you try to jump out of the way of stuff, you lose movement on your next turn to get out of the way of stuff. It has to come from somewhere. And that's something we do in our game, and I like it. Okay, so next person to go up. Marrow number 9 and Marrow number 8. Mumbo number 9. And I think those are dealing with kill tucks down here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are. Okay. So in this moment, Brahmas has moved up on here, and if I'm not mistaken, you did a, what was the spell, Jeremy? Was it bless or something else?
I believe it was blessed for me, him, and his mount.
And that's a 1d4 to saving throws and attack rolls?
Memento, and I will let you know, good sir.
Okay, bud. Go ahead and look into it, and I'll continue on with this. So the creature did a bite attack and still has a hold of, I think it was number 8. Is that correct, Corey? Because I think 8 was the one you didn't pierce. So when we went up and attacked him, you bit and held on to it. And number 9 had an attack of opportunity against him, but missed. I think I got that shit right. Holy cow, I need to write down what I ate this week because it's good for my memory. All right.
Attack roll, saving throw, can add a d4.
So just saving throws.
And attack roll.
And attack rolls. That's the big one there. That's the bread and butter. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with number, what I say it was again, 8? No, number 9's first. Okay. So, with that, you come down here. You're this beacon of light, doing this thing. Now, the light's still on the ship. You don't have the Mechon aura around you currently because it doesn't take concentration, right?
Yeah, no, daylight does not take concentration.
Okay. So, I am going to go ahead, and it's going to try to save its friend, and it's going to make 2 trident attacks against Loki. I'm going to roll these up, and I'm going to expect you to know the armor class primary and armor class breach of your beast here. Is that cool, Colby?
Yep.
Okay. Just a second. 18 on the first attack.
So am I looking for the AP, correct?
Yes, armor class primary.
Total or base?
Oh, you're looking at the armor points. I'm sorry. You want to look at the ACP.
Oh, ACP. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
I get you, buddy. Yeah, you're good.
What'd you say it was?
It is your armor class primary, and I rolled an 18.
Yeah, mine's it's a 17 from.
Okay, so it hit, but it did not breach. I'll remember that. The next attack, I got lower than that, so no, it would have missed. So the first attack would have hit you and went up against your defenses. Because it didn't get past your armor, it just got past your ability to block and dodge. That is going to be 7 points of damage. And it'll say on there what the breaking point of that creature is. Do you see that under BP?
Yep, I do.
And if did 7 get past that?
7 is like the right on it.
Okay, so it was enough to break it. So you take 7 non-lethal, and your armor has been broken with 1 hit. So you want to make a track of that. So you want to put down 1 break, and you want to put 7 non-lethal. That's what you just got hit for. Okay? And when he has that trident stuck in there, he's going to use his movement to try to do a shove and push you back at the end of this trident. So he's rammed you with the pitchfork, and now he's trying to shove you off of his friend. Okay? I'm going to roll a strength check, and we're going to roll them both for your creature and for me, and we're going to see who wins. Okay? I got an 18 total. I know you're a lot stronger than me, but I rolled really good. Roll a strength check for your creature. 1d20 plus your strength modifier.
Uh, 20.
Yeah, that's kind of what I fucking figured. So he's pushing, man, and he's pushing, and your creature's just latched on. It's like we said, it's that pit bull that has a hold of that rubber tire. You're just, you're not having any of that shit. So it goes to push, fails in that attempt. Let's move on. So, as you're fighting and doing all these things, it's the next Marrow's turn. The way I like to do this, and just kind of keep this in mind for theatrics, you've been onto this thing, and you've been shaken, and it's been trying to move. So I'm going to let you roll half of a damage dice of what its bite would be, and it's going to have taken that while it's doing all this moving around and trying to move and fight and shit. So what does your bite attack do? Not bonuses, just the dice. Was it 2d8?
2d10, 2d10 plus 3.
Okay, so just roll 1d10. Tell me what that is.
3.
Okay, so he's going to take 3 points of damage as he's been stirring around and stuff while you've got a hold of him and you're trying to keep from being shoved, and it's going to create damage for that creature. Okay? Now, it's going to try to shove its trident handle into your jaws and try to pry your jaws open. I'm going to roll an attack roll, and if I'm able to roll and get it in there, I'm going to have a strength check against you with advantage to pry it off, because I'm getting leverage. Okay? 12 plus and 22. That beats your armor class primary. Does it beat your armor class breach, ACB?
ACB is 22 for low gear.
Okay, so I hit it exactly. So I was able to get... Okay, so as he does, he's going to send that trident through there, and I'm not going to do any damage with that shot. He's not trying to attack him. He's trying to get this thing in position. So with that roll, being able for you not to block or dodge it, and I'm able to get past your natural defenses, the handle's in place. Now I'm going to roll strength check with advantage to see if I can't pry this shit off of here. Okay? And you should roll strength check as 2 because it's opposing. Alright, buddy? Okay, my best roll was a 20. After bonuses.
Am I rolling with disadvantage?
No, you're just straight rolling.
Natural 20.
You suck so bad. He's latched on, Jeremy. When I see Sean smiling at my misfortune, I know shit's getting bad. Alright, so, failed attempt, not able to get it off there. It's used its one attack. It's use another to try to get this shit off of it. It's going to try to use whatever movement it can to pull back into the water. With a natural 20. And I rolled a 2 after that. There's no way I can budge you. Your beast is set in the ground, sir. Your feet are sunk in the sand, and you are not letting shit happen right now. You have controlled these two marrow like a freaking boss. That's fun. Alright, so moving forward. Marrow number 4 and 9 and 8 are done. This is going to be Dahan. Dahan, we don't really have anything to say. He is below decks, and me and Dan talked about this. He is very partial to Oma and Tamara, and the fact that no one else is there left to defend her in case shit goes bad up here. He says no matter how loud it gets up there, he is going to stay by her side, and if he has to, if things get bad, he will pick up Oma and jump over the ship and swim her to safety. That's his first priority. So we're going to move past Dahan. And now, Darius, it is your turn. So, let me go ahead and move up here for you, sir, so you can see what all's happening. Nope, I don't want to move the creature. I want to move the map. I moved the creature on accident, guys. I'll move it back in just a second. Because technical difficulties. Okay. So, the creature's over here. Darius, you just came out of this thing. This large Earth Genasi monk landed down beside you and rocked the ship. You are muted currently.
Alright. Give me 1 second here.
I'll give you more than 1 second, bud, because that would be just rude. I found a track on here the other day that was just Metallica without the words, and it was great. It was great. I almost did this with this, but I like this soundtrack a little bit better. It's got some drums, some guitar, some good shit to it.
Wasn't that what Metallica was before the 90s?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, back when MTV had videos. You're right, sir. And just for heads up, after that, we'll do some of Bastille's Mojo, and then it will be Celine's turn. So you'll be on deck, Sean, okay? Then it'll be another bad guy, then Brahmas. The Living Light Tower.
Hey, sorry, can you just skip me for a second?
Absolutely I can. Okay, moving back towards him, let's go ahead and go towards Bastille. More roleplay for the DM. Okay, so, Jeremy. Sean, let's talk a little bit about this. So he still has, I believe, Mirror Image has 3 images of yourself to begin with. Now, he had one that got hit, which is going to reduce him down to 2. So let's go ahead and do that shit and get rid of one of these right now. Bam, he's got 2 left. Okay? Now, Sean, if you would please look up Mirror Image for me so I know what the roles are when it comes time to do this shit, okay? He has 2 left. And I appreciate your help. Thank you. Alright, with that, Danny has told me, because he was there the first time that Valdera almost drowned. Now, I'm going to roll, Jeremy, I'm going to want you to roll me a perception check with advantage as these spears, or these lances, that are not quite as lengthy and girthy as the ones that Silouan has, come shooting up out of the water and pepper this thing. I want to see if Bastille gets what just happened. A 1d20 and a 1d8.
16.
16 total? That's enough. So, Bastille was there when she received this gift. He was actually on that quest with her. He realizes what she just set off, trying to clear the path so that Silouan can escape this. Okay? In typical Valdera fashion. As that happens, he is going to use one of his bonus actions to Misty Step out towards the edge of this long sail. So we've got what we got here. We got about 5. Let me make that a little bit brighter because I can't see the grid. Let's bring her up here a little bit. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I think Misty Step is 60, right, Jeremy? It's 30? Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's going to put him up here. Let's do that now. Okay. That's going to put him kind of above where she was. That's one. Okay. With that, he is going to take his dagger and he is going to spend his action to tie a piece of rope to the end of it. Okay? So first I'm going to do an investigation check for him to see if he was able to find... He said he had rope on him, which is part of his explorer's pack, but he didn't say exactly how long of a piece he had. Do any of you guys know, off the top of your head, what the basic length of rope is that you start out with when you're a character?
50 feet.
50.
Okay, that's good. I would say we said the masts were roughly about 30 or 40 foot tall, and the ship is about 10 off, so that's going to be close. Okay? He's wanting to tie a dagger on and throw it down off the end of the ship, so when she surfaces, she can grab a hold of it. So he's taking his turn right now to attach some things, trying to get this dagger on here and throwing it over the side. That's going to be his turn. Okay? And we're going to chill out there. So I'm going to write down some notes for Bastille real quick. That he is gone fishing. Alright. Corey, whenever you are available to take your turn, let me know. Are you good now or you need a little bit?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, bud.
Thanks.
I hope I didn't screw up your plan too bad, but it is what it is sometimes.
No. I mean, so I feel like Darius, is still kind of new to what's going on here and whatnot, and so basically, he gets up on top and he's kind of like looking around. He doesn't know 100% what this ship has to offer as far as what do you call it? Sorry.
Cannons, ballistas, nets, just whatever it might have, right?
Yeah. So what he's doing is a quick scan to see, are there enemies on board? He knows the big bad thingy that is out there in the water.
Roll perception check.
All right.
If it's real high, I'll let you know about the way it's armed, and if there's bad guys. If it's medium to low, we'll just accommodate and see how it goes.
All right. So, that one.
You remember how the doorknob worked when you got out on the ship, and with this him stomping down beside you, it kind of shook and took your focus off a little bit.
Yeah, right.
You can only focus on the memories of that dream you were just in, and trying to say, okay, what's going on out here? And that's about all you really can muster with a 1, sir.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, so the gist, and just to throw it out there, as far as I don't know how you guys use passives here, so to speak. Like, are there any visible, enemies on board? I get like not being able to see, like, if there's things underneath that he wouldn't have known underneath, but if there's anything visible on the deck, I mean,
there is not currently. There's a corpse of one, but there's not. And when they were dealing with things, you didn't see that early on. So
yeah,
no, they would not.
Yeah,
there's none on the deck of the ship currently.
Cool. So what that means is, at a minimum, he sees a corpse of something that he's probably never seen before on the deck, knowing that there might be other enemies around, and sees the huge one out there.
You saw the harpoon and all that shit come for Bast at one time. Something's out there throwing some large-looking harpoon-like bolts off of something and ripped back wood off that crow's nest of the ship. And you're seeing light emanate out there, and you can see the front silhouette of the creature off in the distance through the rain and fog.
Can I tell how far out it is? In case, because I want to do a spell then.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's hilarious. Because it's funny with spells, it's exactly 60 foot away from you, sir.
Okay, perfect. Because so what I'd like to do, how much movement do I have? I have 40 foot of movement.
Yeah, you move, sir. You move.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to move closer, just close enough to the edge of the wall to get a peripheral scan of the water, the area in front of me, kind of to
Okay.
see like, are things climbing up that I need to focus on?
Got you
Obviously
covered.
out of character, I see there's nothing. So as I hit that mass part, I know the creature's out there. I can barely see it, so I know attacking it might be difficult. And knowing that it has a lot to do, I would begin to incant a little song, and I would like to fairy fire at the creature.
Smart move. Okay. I'm going to put you over here, 5, 10, 15, roughly 15 to 20 foot, which will put you over here beside Celine. That'll put
Okay.
you underneath of the ship, so I'm going to dull you down a little bit here because you're underneath the sail. Okay?
Right.
The bird will be flying overhead, and you're going to be able to get a good visual there. Is that fine for you?
Yeah, and basically, so once I do the fairy fire, whether it hits or not, his goal is to move back from the edge. Basically, going to the edge was just to get an idea of, are there creatures that are coming up? Like, are we getting
Okay.
bombarded?
So let me go ahead and address that, and then we'll move forward to the fairy fire. Okay?
Okay.
So just a second here and make sure I'm getting this right. Because there are things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So number 2 is, yeah, it's him. Okay, and then 4. Just a minute. I have to do some visual fishing real quick because there's a lot of shit going on, people. Number 4. Over there. But it was off the side, I believe. Okay, so let me move that. Okay. Okay, so when you come over here, you see one fairly injured one that is just now starting to resurface the water. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up a little bit so you can see that this is one that they knocked overboard earlier and bloodied to a certain degree. It is slowly climbing up the side of the ship and starting to make its approach, which is 10 foot up. I'd say it's just now getting its back feet out of the water and sucked onto the side if it's trotting on its back. But it has some blood pouring out of it, and it's flashing in the water just a little bit. That one's there, and then you have Big Bad out here. That's what you can see from the edge, sir.
All right. Yeah, so that being said, like, he would feel like we're not being bombarded or overloaded, so he wouldn't need a fairy fire close by, but he does see the creature silhouette is a little off, and knowing that, if it comes back, we want to be able to hit it easier. He'd like to light it up.
So with fairy fire, and do you have to keep concentration on that, Corey?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it this way. When you cast that on there, just for the hell of it, roll 1d20 plus your spell save, your spell thing. I like to see how intense this light is. If you roll really, really good, I'll give you extra things. If you roll poorly, I'll take away. And Jeremy, yes.
Bear in mind that daylight is 60 foot of bright light plus an additional 60 foot of dim light. So that thing's lit up like a Christmas tree right now.
Well, it's lit up like it would be outside.
Yeah, it's a little bit more visible.
Okay, but this is going to draw straight attention and give advantage. But yeah, it's not a Christmas tree, Jeremy. You're able to see it. It's not blinking brightly because you put daylight 60 foot away from it. Don't you try to twist that spell, sir. You're getting a lot of mileage out of that daylight, Jeremy.
All right, so that would be a 16.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's within a good range. I'm not going to do anything crazy with that, but I will do this for you. Just a minute. Let's do this. And fairy fire. Fairy, F-A-E-R-I-E, F-A-R-I-E. How is that?
F-A-R-I-E.
Yeah, I always just start typing it in, and D&D Beyond tells me what's right and wrong.
Right on, right? Yeah, it's all good. So, with that, let's have a little fun here. And if I can find it on here with all these damn screens, just a second, guys, and then I'll have this up and running. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Just a second. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Almost done. Almost done. And okay. So he is lit up brightly now, which is outstanding. Let me go ahead and go back to this. And you say this is a concentration spell, you have to keep focused on him, Corey?
Yeah,
Okay. So we've got that on there. We got the fairy fire. There you go. Now that's lit up like a Christmas tree, Jeremy. Now that's what we're talking about. All right, buddy? And for the movement, you said you kind of wanted to jump in, then jump out?
Yeah, because basically, I imagine like he kind of runs up to, like I said, he looks over the board and sees that we're not being overrun. So the only thing that really is dangerous to him is what's out there. And he would have seen the two people, Valdera and Solowan, get sucked away, but not know that they are out there, right?
Correct. You would have saw them get taken up by the shark and shit like that, but you don't know where they went to, especially with a one perception check. You
Exactly.
barely know where you are.
Yeah, that's why that makes it clear to where he'd run up, he would do the fairy fire, and he would just kind of like holler at the people standing there. It should be easier to hit now, as he starts to dart back. I want to start heading back down to underneath because he's going to basically investigate. He wants to find artillery because that thing's too far out to do anything with, and too big to fucking shoot crossbows at and think you're gonna make any damage.
I get it. Okay, so just so you know, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on here because I didn't, because I'm human and I can't think of everything. Let's go ahead and go to the battle map here real quick, and we'll make another layer real fast. I'm going to add a couple things, okay? Let's go right here and go above the battle map with this layer. Okay, I'm going to take a marker. Okay, and I'm going to make some, let's go ahead and make these, let's go light blue circles. Okay, and these are going to mark where their artillery's at on the actual top of the ship. Okay? So let me go ahead and reduce the size of this just a little bit. Okay, so let's call this guns and stuff. Alright, so what you've got here is there, one here, one here. Okay, so for now, we'll dim those down a little bit. I know you did really bad on your check, okay? So at this point, I can't actually say where these other ones are. But I will say, because it's right there by where you ran past to get to the edge, there is a ballista over here beside Caliban, on the same level of the deck that you're on.
All right.
Okay? I've got to, I mean, I could play by the rules and say one, and I could make up all these things, and really I should. But I'm going to say just because you literally had to walk right beside it, you note that there's one here. Now, you don't know if it's operational, you don't know if it's loaded because of the rain and fog, because of your haste and the one, but you know there's one here in proximity. Would you like to get back behind that, Darius?
So I mean, I'm all about the story and like letting the role make the story. So I would say that he's going to use his movement to go as far back towards the way he came. Back towards the door, which I think I probably have what 15 more foot of movement, maybe
Yeah.
20.
So I'm going to put you right about here.
Yeah, he'll go right past it, and the next turn is when he's going to fucking realize.
Okay, hey, as long as you don't roll another one again, if you roll two ones, I'm going to say you trip over the ballista, and you're like, oh shit, there it is.
Yeah. So, but that's all his turn.
Okay, good job. Just for shits and giggles, Silouan, if you're still around there, Rachel, was that Elemental Bane a concentration spell? I can't remember.
Hold on, let me look it up for you right now. Sorry, I was eating and didn't want to be
No,
seen
you're
eating on
perfectly
camera.
fine. You don't have to worry about that. I'm going to move forward here a little bit, but if it is concentration, roll a Constitution saving throw for me, and let me know what that result of that is when you have time. Okay?
Okay. Yes, it is concentration.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that for me. 1d20 plus your Constitution modifier.
Okay.
And we're going to see how that goes, because that was you going under the water and being like, oh, fuck.
Nat 20 plus 2, 22.
With that, with it raining, and you submerged under the water, it still takes extra damage from fire because you are a golden god, Rachel. Yeah, that's the natural 20. That'll work. So yeah, I like it. All right, so moving forward, Celine, you are up. What you doing?
Now that she can more or less see where she is, her eyes kind of darken to like a blackish red.
Okay.
As she takes out her crossbow again and fires. Just her, she has 2 attacks this turn, if I remember, because I took 3 the last time. So
correct.
She's gonna fire her first crossbow shot.
Okay. Are you using the features of this, or are you just doing straight shots?
Just a straight shot.
Go ahead. Roll for an attack. With advantage because of the fairy fire, which is fucking outstanding.
Oh, which is good.
Right? Yeah. It's always good.
That is a 27 to hit.
27 just breaches.
And do I have my sneak attack still? Because I had my insightful fighting.
Oh, yeah, you had. We said for 3 turns is what we decided. Remember?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, if you roll, you can use your weapon specialization one time to try and make critical, or you can add to attack. What do you want to do here?
No, I'm adding it to the attack, so it's 1d6 plus 1d4.
To the chance of a critical?
No, to the actual damage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1d6, 1d4 10 plus sneak attack, 14 plus 18 plus 8, which comes up to, that's 26 points of piercing damage.
Damn you.
And then she'll
the creature is visibly bloodied.
And then she's gonna fire her second shot.
Stop your grinning, Jeremy. You suck.
Which misses. It's only a 15.
With advantage?
Oh, with advantage? Oh, that's right.
It's lit up, buddy.
Okay,
Christmas.
never mind. That is a 28.
That
hit.
Also breaches. Damn you, Sean.
And so it's just a regular 1d6.
It is,
8,
unless
so...
you use a special arrow,
no,
which you have to call before you shot.
Yeah. So that's plus 8, that's 14 points of damage, piercing damage.
That's really good for a regular shot.
And then she's going to call out to Isadora and say, with like, she looks up, her eyes kind of turn like blackish red, and you see like black runes going down her hand.
Awesome.
And he tells Isidore, fly out and show him the chilling touch of. She says, fly out and show her the chilling touch of Ilea.
I like it, buddy. And for all of you that don't understand why Chilling Touch is so cool, Sean, please explain.
My chilling touch doesn't do. It does. It's through Isadora the bird. So I send out my raven, and yeah, she does. She does necrotic damage instead of cold. But yeah.
Nicely
So,
done.
Raven goes out and takes her turn. So yeah, so I have to make a ranged spell attack. As you see, like necrotic energies that kind of like shoot out of her left hand and like link up to Isadora as she flies over this creature. Do I still get advantage on that roll?
Yes.
I mean, a 19.
A 19 works because you don't have to pierce its armor for this to work. That's what's great about our system. It doesn't have to breach the character to do a touch attack against it. So, point 1 for homebrew. Yes, that is enough to land this attack on the creature. So Isadora swipes down with a claw and rakes across the shoulder and fin of the creature, inflicting the chill touch. Please roll the damage and tell me of the effects.
So it takes 5 points of necrotic damage, and as Isadora cries out, kind of like necrotic energies pulse through its body, and until it can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn. So
that's fantastic. Okay, remind me of that, please. If we get to that point, if he summons a cleric shark, we'll know that it doesn't matter. Okay. With that, buddy, that's your 2 attacks. Now, that's been 4 shots fired from Duncan, which means it requires a reload.
Yeah. So my next turn, she'll take a action to reload. Okay,
you have movement, and you have bonus. Well, you use your bonus action to command Isadora, correct?
Yeah.
So you have movement. Are you staying there, or what are you wanting to do, my friend? What's up?
No. She's going to stay there. She's going to stay there.
All right. And with that, that is the end of your turn. It's a good one, sir. Okay. Number 2 starts to climb up the side of the ship. For this, Colby, I want you to do me a dexterity check, a 1d6 and a 1d20, and tell me what you get. Or athletics. Yeah.
9.
9's not good. The enemy is almost able to make it up the side of the ship, but not quite with that low of an athletics check. As it begins its ascent and becomes more visible. And I'm going to say is 7 foot up the side of the ship at this point, okay? We're going to move past that. Brahmas, it's your turn. And so everybody knows, then it will be Drayden, then we'll go to Siluan, and then Killtusk. Okay? So, moving forward, Brahmas. What you doing, buddy?
Hopefully going to make those 2 regret spending all their time getting that dinosaur off of them.
I mean, I had to play it the way they'd be like, oh shit, it's a dinosaur, it's biting us. What are we going to do?
I got to make sure that I took my feet here. All right, bear with me.
And I hope everybody's enjoying this combat as much as you can, fighting things in the dark, getting rained on and fish. Hopefully we'll get it wrapped up and can get on to our theatrics, but we're in a fight for like 16 people now, so it's going to take a minute. We're moving, though. We're moving the gears, okay? If you have stuff to do in between your turns, feel free to, like Rachel's eating. You know, do what you got to do. It's all good.
All right. So those two are within 5 foot of each other, right? Having helped each other do
You
their
know,
thing.
with a suggestive tone, I'm going to say yes, Jeremy. Yes, they are within 5 foot of each other.
All right. Well, Brahmas is going to take his steps forward towards them. And he's going to lift that great sword of his up 2 hands. And he is going to swing for the fences with a cleaving strike.
Oh, and if you know the mechanics of cleaving strike, that's fantastic. So, moving forward. Now, you can move up to here and get them both in the range of the cleaving strike, or do you want to move beside the... Here'd be your only spot, because if not, you're going to hit Loki.
That's where I want to be.
And Loki's been a good boy. You don't want to cut him up.
Now, let me ask you something here.
I'd love to answer it, yeah.
Because it says by sacrificing 5 or 10 foot of movement. How do I know which?
Okay, it depends on the way they're lined up. So if they're right in front of your character, like let's say Brahmas was here, and you're able to swing in an arc here, you'd have him. Okay? But if you're having to take a step past them to get both of them, that takes 10 foot of movement. So I can let you take a 10-foot step to run a sword through the length of 2 people, but with them grouped this closely together, you can do it with only 5 foot of movement. Does that make sense?
Beautiful.
Okay, it's just for... I was writing it up, I was like, well, you know, if you're swinging that sword and you're taking some steps with it, I can give you 10 foot of movement to catch 2 people at the maximum. Something that the original feat was lacking, and I like the flavor of it.
So, since they're busy with Loki, I can hit them at advantage, right? Flanking?
Yeah, they're you got advantage from flanking, yes. And you've got a plus 1d4 on yourself, right?
Yep.
Why don't you just stack the odds, you bearded bastard? Go ahead, it's terrible. It's terrible what you do to me. Alright.
Alright, let's see here.
If you just want to roll 2d20s, I mean, you know, go ahead, buddy. I'm just giving you shit.
All right, that's hold on here.
Yep.
Plus a D4. That's a 31 to hit.
That breaches. Now, if I believe on the cleaving strike, if you do it by so much, it does extra shit, right?
How much did I break its or beat its ACP by?
What was your total? 30 what?
31.
14.
All right, second strike gains advantage. So does that be double advantage?
No, there's no such thing, Jeremy.
Okay, well, I could try.
You have a good shot.
All right. So the damage to the first one inflicts damage plus half.
Yes, it does. And that's the dice only.
So that is 6, 6, 8 for 20. And then plus half, so 30.
And that is number,
25.
which one is that? That's number 9?
Yeah.
Just a minute, let me make sure.
Yeah, 30.
Paint me a picture.
All right, so as he's coming through, he's just taking that, and he's just going to lop that thing off wherever it can hit him, hopefully right there in the cheek.
Yeah, and what's great on the cleaving strike is going through one and going right into the other one. That's going to be awesome, Jeremy. That's going to look amazing. So as you go through and you dispatch number 9, where do you go through it at?
Like right in the middle of the face, not even at the neck, just shink right through the cheek.
Very sweet, sir. And as that happens, it dispatches the part of its fin and face kind of flop over as the body kind of twitches. It falls into the water with a splash and is no longer... I'll leave it faintly there because it's beneath the waves. Okay, and as the blade carries through to the second one, Jeremy, go ahead.
34 to hit.
Yeah. Damn, sir. Me advantage 1d4. So you're just seeing old Stonehenge here, Colby, just sawing through these damn things.
And see. Yeah, so is it just regular damage to the second one then?
If you read the feat, if it is, it is, yeah.
Let's roll a 10 or more. Secondary strike gains advantage. The initial strike goes damage plus 1/2. It actually doesn't specify how much damage the second one does.
That's regular damage.
Cool. And that's going to be 18.
18 to number 8. How does he look after that bucket of bullshit? Because you just killed 9.
Yep.
Okay, and you did 18. Okay, it looks on as if it's on death's door.
And we're good to say that was just one attack, right?
Yeah, that's what the cleaving strike does. It does movement and one slicing attack.
All right. Well, then he's going to come to the end of that, and he's going to turn it, basically do a big old U-turn and come back at it again.
Okay, describe to me what the angle of the blade, and then roll your attack.
So basically, he came through kind of at the head.
Okay.
And when he comes back around from that arc, it's basically going to come around basically come around to the same spot, just kind of lower down, about halfway down the body.
I meant to say something to you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to say this before it moves on. When you splatter kill these things, they have that poison blood that we discussed last time. Now you're different. So I'm going to give you the choice of rolling a dexterity saving throw to only take half of that to Brahmas's secondaries.
He's already resistant to poison, so.
Okay, so then you're just going to stay in there, finish the strike, and you're just going to take the full blunt of this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He's already resistant, so.
As this splatters up on you, you see it on those church, stained glass windows on the inside as that blue-black ichor just kind of slaps on the side there and runs down almost like you're looking through Rain-X, sir. As you know, Brahmas is getting nasty in this, but it does not affect you. Go ahead. Roll your attack. Oh, you did.
Natural 20 for a 35.
And with a natural 20. Just paint the picture.
So as he comes through, he takes the one, slashes it, cuts the other one by like right across the back of the head as the guy that's Loki's got hold of it.
Back the head, yeah.
He's going to come back around, and when he brings this sword down, it's going to be lower. It's going to catch it like right under the arm and just cleave right through.
When you do that, I gotta have a little fun with you. As you do that, and it's dispatched too, as it sinks down and floats beneath the waves. As you do that, Loki, the Allosaurus creature, takes the other small part and violently shakes it because now it's light enough where the chunk that he kept a hold of the whole time is now like just a piece of this thing. And he's like, nah! and he's trying to get this stuff down and eat this damn thing. Okay? With that, I'll ask one for theatrics. Kiltusk, what's on your mind right now as you're seeing this happen? He hasn't hit your animal, but he has went up there, or your beast, I should say, but he has went up there and just cleaned house with a big old blade, sir. What are you thinking?
I think Kiltusk would be going through, what would be going through his head would probably be like he has encountered a god of his people that he has spent his entire life worshiping, and is now seeing it in person, and also seeing how he is willing to protect his people and his people's pets and animals.
Awesome. Tell you what I'll do. I'll let you use a free action if you want to use to do anything at all here, as long as it's just theatrical, if you like to say, or do you just want to remain where you are and wait for your turn to do actual things?
Do I have a horn? I forget.
You do. You have beast calls. Yes, you have all kinds of things, and you can make up some flavor here. If there's something that you do to call back your beast to you when the kill is done, I'll let you do that for some flair. Or anything like that. Anything like that at all, buddy. Yeah, and that'll take your free action from your turn. I'm going to let you do it now, just for a theatric here.
I think I might play like a small bit of a religious tune of worship to the to Brahmas here.
Okay, maybe see if there's a reaction. Okay, for the hell of it, do a performance check for me. And well, I think you do these things with wisdom because you're a ranger. When you're using your monster calls, so we'll go ahead and say it's along that line. So go ahead and roll that for me real quick. Then we're going to move forward through the round here, as these things are dropping like toads. Because flies fly, toads they're amphibious. It just makes sense. What'd you get, boss?
21.
A 21. Just for shits and giggles, Brahmas, I want to say one thing to you real quick, then we're going to move on, okay? Because this is interesting. With a 21, as you put an end to these two creatures, and that ichor is sliding down from your visuals, and they're floating at a distance, you hear what sounds to be some kind of ancient tribal-like song being played through the sheets of rain and the splashing of bodies and stuff around you, as the creature stops and drops what it had in its jaws and looks towards the person that is controlling it, or its master. And as that's happening, it sounds as if it's inside of Brahmas. Okay? I want you to roll me a perception check.
An 11.
Okay. You feel that it is having some kind of internal effect in here, but you don't know the extent of it. And if you remember originally the map that got lost of this stuff, where there was that large room that had the statues of the knights and different people along the outsides, and you know that there's different statues of versions of yourself and other constructs that are also in this thing, almost like the mannequins in Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? You would hear a shift, and you would see the eyes illuminate and glow for just a distant moment, as if they are reacting to something. And this is very strange. And I'll leave it at that, with an 11. Okay? With
Does
that,
he hears the music too, though, right?
yes, I'll give you a free action to respond. Now that you know Merc's blood is pumping and you've got the creature there, what is it you do when you hear this on the outside? And then I'll let you use your movement and we'll move on.
I think that he would be in a somewhat of a visible state of confusion at that point, just kind of looking over at Kiltusk. And is that a tone that Merc recognizes?
No.
All he knows is that Brahmas itself is having it.
This construct itself is reacting to this in some way, yeah.
He would definitely be looking at Kiltusk curiously as he gives him a nod.
Okay, and I'll say you have, what, about 10, 15 foot of movement left? No, you
Give
probably
or
not.
take.
You went 10 or 15 and you used 20, so you have probably about 10 left. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 35 altogether. So.
20.
Um,
So 10 left, yeah.
Merc is aware of the big baddie on the other side, right?
I believe so.
Okay. How far
You
am I
didn't get to see
Kiltusk?
you are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 foot.
Okay. Going to bonus action Misty Step over to Kiltusk.
Okay, awesome. And when you see that he has a reaction to this, Colby, and turns over towards you and looks at you, all of a sudden he takes a step. And describe to him what this looks like, Jeremy, please, just for theatric. I like to do things like this for you.
So you see him take a step, and as he goes to take his second step, you see his body start to dematerialize into like a silver dust that just dissipates and then he reappears almost the same in reverse. But the dust forms out of the air, and then it solidifies into him.
And then as this strange writings and things dies back down, it is standing in front of you, very, very real, Killtusk. And if that, I'll leave the theatrics for the next turn for you guys. I'm going to move on down the list, okay?
Beautiful.
All right, good deal. Good one, guys. All right, Drayden is up on the ship. So then we're going to have Silhouette and Killtusk. Then it will be the big boss's turn again. And they're dropping like flies, everybody. All right, so with that, Drayden is up on the ship. And Rachel, I would like for you to roll me a 1d20, and this will determine how good a job Drayden does of whatever the hell's going on here.
Just a straight 1d20, no modifiers.
Yeah, because this is this is just gauging how successful he is in what he does. The better the roll, the better I get to explain it.
18.
18's pretty good. Now, if you would, for me, Corey, roll 1d20 for the big bad. Let's see who gets higher. Who gets the worst of this? Or not the big bad, for old lonely number 2 that's climbing up the side here, buddy.
I rolled a 7.
I like it. I like it. Knowing that Valdera is out there in the water, and Valdera and Drayden have been on several different adventures together, especially knowing that Silhouette and them are both out there, he's fairly fearless and a very good swimmer. He is going to jump over the side, and he is going to do a descending axe kick on this creature as he plummets into the water, and then he's going to try to swim out there to help somebody to see if he can get visuals on someone that may be under the water. Okay? As he does this, Bastille is going to take his free action, and he is going to yell out to Drayden as he jumps. He says to him practically, get him above water and grab onto the rope. As Drayden looks up and gives a nod, he goes over the side and he jumps up and he gets both arms up in the air and he goes to come down with this flying kick to kick this thing off the side of the ship. Since it is clinging onto the ship, it does not get its dexterity or its weapon deflection because it's not able to defend itself against the shot. It is just an armor class 10 plus its bonuses from armor class breach. Once again, a great reason why we divide up the armor class the way we do, because we can do things like this. That hits. With that, as he goes down and hits the thing and only had a 7, he got a very good roll. He's able to actually kick the creature in the face. The creature was already hurt. Let's get an idea, see if it's able to take it out completely. With that roll, Celine, you would hear an audible crunch as he comes down and the heel of this thing catches this creature right in the brow. As it does, the fins kind of fold in, and you can hear the neck crack as this thing crumples underneath the weight of Drayden's kick as he goes down. This creature is beyond repair. This thing is dead in the water, literally. As he kicks this thing, you see the back of it come up with that ridge across its back, and a pool of blood just start out from around its ears and where its mouth would be as it floats in the rain of waves beside the ship. Number 2 has been slain. Drayden is in the water, and now that he's swimming, let's dim him, and we'll give him half movement. He jumped down. Let's take away, that's an attack action 10. He can move 20 foot in the water right now at half movement. He's a monk and he has a lot of movement. Let's go 5, 10, 15, 20. That's going to put me about 5 foot away from her, and she's going to be 3 foot down from me. So very close to where I'm at now. That fair for everybody? And number 2 is slain. And Darius, you would see this as well, as the body just floats there lifelessly as you're looking at this ballista there on the side of the ship. The next person to go is going to be Silowin. You are up, young lady. You are underneath the water with me. You had prepared your lance thinking you had a better plan. And when you saw Valdera do this, you saw a bunch of things happening in the water breaking, and you heard underwater sounds like phew, 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 phew. But you didn't exactly see what was going on, okay? She's released something here. You already have your lance at the ready. What is it you're doing on your turn? You are 10 foot below the water, and you're over here in the big bad Ran. So if you want to get an idea where it's at, I'll have you do a perception check so you can see where the shadow is.
Yeah, I'll roll a perception check.
You know what? With advantage. This thing's got fairy fire on it.
Okay.
Good use of that.
The first one was a nat 20.
I'd just keep that one and say fuck it. You know what?
Yeah,
Roll
21.
another. If you get 2 20s, we'll make magic happen.
Okay. Oh my god, I rolled another nat 20. I swear to God.
Okay. So. I love this.
Taught her well.
You did, didn't you? Yeah. Of all the times her beating you at the games and shit at the drunken mug and all stuff, you're just like that Robert Redford, where the meme where he's just kind of, yeah, that's it. So, 2 20s. That's kind of special. I'm going to give you, as you're underneath the water, and you rolled, I think you rolled a 20 when, or no, you rolled really high to be like, no, Valdera, I've got this damn clear, right?
Yeah, I think I rolled a 19 on that one.
Okay. I'm going to give you advantage on whatever you decide to do here. And if it's damage, I have something else in store for you. So, tell me what you're doing here.
So, I can see the creature right now, like the one that's...
You can see the shining image. You're able to compose yourself. You're still within your time where you're able to hold your breath. You've got the lance in your hand. You have all your spells. You have your ability to do all these things. Have at it. Whatever you're wanting to do here, just tell me.
Okay, hold on. I think I want to cast the spell.
Okay.
Let's see what can I do? It's a hard part. Could I? So how far away am I to this creature?
5, 10, 15, 20. 35 to 40 foot. Because it's less than that up this way, but you're also 10 foot below. So there's a slope to take into consideration. So I'm going to say 35 foot away from this creature.
Okay. I don't think I can cast a spell because I feel like I'm too far away from that.
Now, keep in mind, physical things you can pull off, and if you're doing a spell, if it has a verbal component to it, you would not be able to perform it under the water.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I can cast a spell right now.
Okay.
So, the only thing I can realistically do right now to save my skin, can I throw the lance at it? Am I like that? Am I far away to do that?
It's within lance range, but you would have to be with 2 20s. I'm trying to decide the limits of what I can do as a DM here to help you out.
Yeah.
So I will do this
idea.
with 2 20s. I will let you do one of your Skylancer moves.
Okay.
And I will let you muster up the strength of your wing. Use it as one big gust to propel you up out of the water. Now I'm going to subtract 10 foot off of the height of your vault.
Okay.
But with 2 20s, I'm going to let you be able to jump through the water. It's like SeaWorld in your flipper.
Okay.
And you're coming up out of the water with this Skylancer move. And I'm going to let you make one Skylancer attack against this as you come up out of the water like Shamu.
Okay.
Because the jump isn't exactly physical, it's arcane in its nature. especially for you of having the one wing. So this tracks with me. Does everyone else like the flavor of that? Thumbs up for yes.
And I love the fact that she's only got the one wing, so when she comes up, realistically, she's going to be coming up like a spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the other crazy idea I had, but since I can do this, I was thinking casting levitate on myself and propelling myself upward. But
if you wanted to swim
that...
to the top first and then cast it, you can use your movement first. It's up to you. You have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
it's going to take. Okay, it's taking 20 foot of movement to get to the top of the water because it's 10 foot. So roll me an athletics check with advantage, please. Well, no, not with this.
Okay.
Just a regular advantage, yeah.
Okay. 1 second. You said athletics?
Yes.
Well, that was a 3. So that's
roll it again. One more time.
Nat 20.
Okay. So we're sticking with the SeaWorld theme here.
Yeah.
So you come up and break the water with 20 foot of movement. Now, what's your total movement? Is it 40?
Yeah.
Okay. So, things to know. If you would choose, with those two 20s on perception checks back and forth, it takes half of your movement to do a Skylancer maneuver. And you are now cresting the water and you have half your movement left. Okay, exactly.
Okay.
Or you can do a levitate. Now, if it takes your whole action to do a levitate spell, then you're going to be able to levitate, but you'll have to wait till your next turn to move on forward. So these are options for you, and there's many more. Those are just the first two I can think of to help you out.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
I know it's all good to plan these things and know that your turn's coming up, but shit like this sometimes changes as you go, especially when you roll 20s like a boss.
Yeah, I think levitate takes like one action, I think.
Okay, and that's cool. You can set it up for next turn. The chessboard is yours. You are fully apparent now as you are above the water.
Yeah. Yeah, and for a free action, can I try to swim closer to the ship, or?
No, I can't have you doing anything physical with a free action.
Okay, never mind.
That's more for just theater and saying things.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
I think that's all I can do.
Oh, yeah, like I say, you've only used your movement. You haven't used your action yet.
Oh,
It's okay.
Okay, now I'm trying to figure what else I can do. Can I still throw my lance at it?
Yes, you can.
Okay, now I can. I'll do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
Sure.
And you have advantage on this attack because it has fairy fire on it. So roll 2d20 and pick your highest one and add your attack bonus to it, please.
Well, one was a 6. Plus.
We don't want that one.
Yeah, no. 12 plus my attack. Okay. Hold on, let me do math. I can.
It's all good. And the next person to go is going to be Killtusk. You're on deck, so start thinking about what you're up to, boss.
Does a 24 hit?
24 does hit, but it does not breach. So go ahead and roll damage for the attack.
Okay.
And is it just straight up? Is there anything you would like to add to the attack?
Okay. I tried to pierce its side, or the chest. I don't know if I'm in direct range of its chest, or I'm off to the side.
Just for the hell of it, go ahead and roll your 1d4.
Okay. No problem. That's a 6.
On a 1d4?
Oh, D4. Wow, I rolled a D6. Wow, this is not the first time I've done this. Ignore that.
It's all good. All right. So what'd you get on your 1d4 roll?
2.
Okay, and what's that make your total attack? Before, what did she say a minute ago? Was it 20? What was it? 26 or something?
24. Yeah.
It was 24 plus those 2 was 26.
Yep.
Yes. You are able to pierce the side of the creature with this lance attack. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Okay, now I roll damage.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And that's a D6, right?
Yes, ma'am. Plus your bonuses.
Okay. Oh, awesome. 9.
9 total. This 9, because the 220s from earlier, is going to be mortal damage. We've discussed this before, right, Jeremy? You know what I'm talking about. Mortal damage is stuff that this thing can't just typically heal. Mortal damage is treated kind of theatrically like real damage is done by us. Usually people roll 220s, or there's some kind of spectacular moment. The knife cut to a person's throat from a thief being behind them, the bite of a vampire, epic things that happen in the game. I will sometimes rule that there is mortal damage inflicted by these things. You can't just walk up and lay on hands and fix this. And that was 9 points?
Yes.
Okay. -9, as this does. Now you have the ability to pull that lance back to you, but as this lands underneath the left arm of the creature, as it's searching and trying to hook up another one of its lines to another crossbow bolt, you fail and you foil its attempts at trying to reload this thing. As it lands into its side and it cringes, and its slippery hands that has webbed fingers reach down and are reaching around and trying to grab this thing, almost like it's an animal that's just been shot by an arrow. It's just naturally reacting to this. You have really put this thing on the fence. With that, is that the end of your turn, or would you like to summon the lance back and throw again?
Could I summon the lance back and throw it again?
You may. You can do one more attack with it because it's a lance of returning.
Okay, awesome.
You use your bonus action. Yes, so you have one more attack.
Okay. Can I try to aim for its head?
No.
Oh.
That because you don't have called shots feat. But we'll see how the roll goes, and we'll be theatrical. Go ahead.
Okay. Lucky thinking.
Right on.
Okay, let me do this again.
There's a called shot feat you can have where you start taking minuses to hit specific areas and effects, and it's under the feats list there in the optional rules. If you guys ever want to learn that, feel free.
Okay. Anyways, I call my lance back, and I'll try to throw it again. I'm not even aiming for anything specifically, but just hoping it lands somewhere.
Right.
Well, that's a nat 20. I swear this is my one night of nat 20s.
Okay.
There's a 32 hit.
Yeah, 32 hits and breaches. Go ahead and roll your damage and twice the dice on this.
Okay. Damage, you said, or?
Yeah, you roll your dice, and then you multiply that by 2, and then you add the bonus to it.
Okay, so... Okay, yeah. Damage... 5... 8... So, damage times 2, right? Sorry.
Yep, you roll the 1d6, you multiply it by 2, then you add your bonus to the end of that.
Oh, okay. So
you're all right. It's okay.
Okay. Now I got it. 14
and what did you get?
14 damage.
Okay, 14 damage. With that second hit, as the lance buries itself, this time striking it across the arm deeply. You can see that you've cut across the tendons, and it catches one of the fins on the sides of its head, and it shoots off into the distance. This one doesn't stick into it. This one just goes through, hits the arm, hits the side of the cheek, turns its head. I'm going to do a saving throw for this creature to see if it's going to get the fuck out of here or not. And with a natural 3, the creature is going to try to make its escape and get the fuck out of here on its next turn. The mortal wound was a step in the right direction. The 2 penetrating shots to the side did not make matters any better, and it's seeing that its minion has been crumpled by Drayden's kick on the side of this. Morality check says the creature's done with this shit. Okay? So, with that, Cinnamon, that is taking your movement and your action. You still have 20 foot of movement left, which would be 10 foot of movement in the water. Do you wish to do it? Or, you know what, with throwing 2 attacks, I'm going to say you had to use your movement to keep yourself moving your legs, staying above water. So I'm going to put your movement down to 0 that you've used it, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So with that, that will be the end of your turn, which was a damn good one, ma'am.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. With that, Kill Tusk. You guys don't know this shit's going on, and you just saw Brahmas bring the pain. These 2 are floating over here dead in the water. So I'll give you guys just like 5 minutes here to go through a sequence to both of you, or you can be trying to run towards where you think there could be more danger, or anything. Or anything. So there you go. Your picture froze for a minute, but I think you're back. So what is it that you would like to do? Remember, you can control your creature right after your turn. And you have your turn now to act however you would like. What's on your mind, sir?
Okay, so
You're okay. Go ahead, bud. Because it takes time. I know these things take time, so it's all good. What's that?
So where would you think for Kill Tusk would be the best position to get a clear shot of? Well, does he know about the big boss guy out there?
You do not. You heard that cry out.
I do not.
But you, I think we did a history check for you last time, and you were not familiar with that particular animal. You know, I can't remember. For the hell of it, roll me a History's Wisdom, and that's something you're proficient in. Roll it to see if you've ever heard this thing doing this before, because you're used to calls and sounds and doing it with your thing. When it let out that screeching sound that did sonic damage to everybody, roll me that, and I'll see if you're familiar with this or not.
13.
No. You're not sure what that was. You know there was something attacking, but you have no idea what it possibly could be. If it's there, if it's gone. You can't see over the other side of the ship as it's 10 to 15 foot out of the water with everything else going on. You know there's lightning crashing around with rain. You're not sure, sir.
Okay.
Ryan, I don't know if you had allowed it or not, but with that free action on my turn coming up to him is probably when I would have told him about that on the other side, that we needed to get around the other side of the boat.
I'll let you spend that free action. Well, I know you were saying some verbiage, so just give me roughly what you're trying to convey here. If you want to roll a check to do it, that's fine, or I'll just let you use your words, bud. What do you want to do?
It'll just be real quick. I appreciate your help. We need to get to the other side of the ship.
Okay, so you've heard that. Now, Colby, what is it you're doing with that information? You have to think about how you're going to get there, what you're going to do, all that stuff. The ship is going to be a ways off. If you were to take your turn, you could get started. And once you hit the water, you know, it's half movement. So you could start that if you have a plan on a better way to do it. You also have a bow that has a hellacious reach. You can encircle, try to do some things. Completely up to you. What are you thinking about doing here, boss?
How far? Okay, so me calling back Loki, would that count as part of its movement?
Of Loki's movement? Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Movement's movement, and I subtract it, yeah.
Okay.
It's like dodging a saving throw. You know, if you're dodging, if it's not your turn, and you dodge out of the way of a fireball and you make it, I move your movement out of the fireball, but it subtracts that from your next turn. We try to keep movement realistic in this. So, yeah.
Sure.
And if you want a chance to think about it, I can move on just a little bit and let some things happen and come back to you. It's up, because I don't mean to put you on the spot. It's up to you. What do you want to do here?
So how far will it take me to get from like the front of the ship but stay on the coast, so I can get a view of what's going on?
The front of the ship. So we're talking over here by the mast where Brahma's come from, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say, let's go like this. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 60. No, let's go like this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 55, 60. That's about 75 foot to get there. You have half movement in the water, and it's about 10 to 15 foot up to climb up to it. It's a ways, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But this may be a theatrical round for you, too. Maybe this is a buffing, preparing turn for you, where you're getting yourself prepared for something the next time around. It's completely up to you, sir.
I think I might just call Loki back.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say you're calling Loki back to you at this moment. As you do, that'll take his movement by about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 from his next turn. I think he gets 40 foot of movement a turn, correct?
No, he gets 60.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he moves. I forgot. Shit, yeah. Okay, so he returns to your side. Brahmas, you see him have a verbal command and a connection with this creature. As it walks by you, well-trained, doesn't pay you any attention at all, and goes straight over to his side and lowers its leg on the right side as if it's waiting for him to possibly mount it if he would choose to. As it makes clicking sounds and cackling sounds as the saliva from the teeth drip into the water where it just had a fresh meal of sushi over here on the side of the beach. Is there anything else you'd like to do for the rest of your turn there, sir?
Would Loki be able to climb the ship, or with me on him, or will I be able to do that?
I would roll a athletics check for the creature to see if it's able to move at half speed in the water with you, because it's a large creature.
Mm-hmm.
They are somewhat amphibious, they can't breathe it, but they can doggy paddle pretty good. That's going to give you better movement in the water. That's going to move you 30 foot to it, because it'd be reduced by half. Is that what you'd like to do? That'll put you 30 foot closer to the ship.
Yeah. That is what I like to do.
Okay, so go ahead for it and do me a wisdom throw as if you're trying to communicate with the creature. Roll 1d20 plus your modifiers and see how well you're able to command the creature. As you've not really taken an action yet, you've just said, "Here, boy." I won't make that
25.
punish you too bad. 25 is very, very good. With that, you're able to be on the back of the creature. Okay, and with that, you guys head out towards the front of the ship, swimming out around the far front of it here? Or do you swim another direction?
Well, okay, so it's gonna be a shorter distance for me to go straight to the ship and not try to circle around, correct?
It would be, and then you could probably pounce off of it, and climb up the side. Yeah.
Okay, then I think I might do that.
Okay.
If Loki is able to do that.
We're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and look at our distance and let's move you accordingly. Okay. Let's go ahead and say we're moving 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. That's going to put you here. Now, let me move a thing. You're probably 5, 10, 15, 20 more foot away from the side of the ship. So you're a little bit further than halfway, as the side of the ship would be right in here. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? You don't see any creatures in the water. You just see the dead bodies. There's nothing else climbing up this side of the ship, but you do hear the distant sounds of battle from the other side. Okay? And is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? I think that's all your movement, and you've used your action to summon him back to you and mount him. Unless you have a bonus action to prepare something, that's pretty much going to be it for you, sir.
I think that'll be it.
Okay. All right. The creature now, which is great. I think, and Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, if the thing's movement is 60 and it just got halved, can it not double by doing the dash action?
Yeah. I mean, well, dash doubles whatever your movement is.
Right. And since the creature is only just came to him, it took about 15 of its feet to get to you. So it has 60 it uses. So it has 45 left to dash. Now 45 times 2 would be what it had, but it's reduced back down to 45 because you're in water. So you can move another 45 foot on its turn, and that's going to get you to the side of the ship, sir. That sound fair to everybody? I think that's about the best we can do in the situation we're in, but that works, sir. That gets you there. So I'm going to say, with the rest of its movement, it gets you to the side of the ship. Okay? Now you're not going to have the chance to mount it and climb yet. That's going to be on your next turn or whatever happens here, okay? But I'm going to put you right up here. All right, boss? And that is going to be the end of both your all's turns. And now we are back to the Sea Scourge. As Silouan has put heavy hits on this, as it has got fairy fire cast on it, where it can no longer hide into the waves, as it has seen its minions falling off the side of the ship, it obviously has bitten off more than it could literally chew here. And as that happens, and failing a morality check, the creature dives deep down underneath the waves and uses its turn and its full movement to try to get the hell out of here. Now, something I like to do here, because in D&D, it kind of sucks that we do things in turns, because it's like everyone else has to stand there while he goes this distance. But I know for a fact that you all haven't used your reactions. Okay? I am going to give you guys the opportunity to make one ranged attack or do one single action that you would do on your typical turns, rather it be saying something that would take about one attack's worth of time to do, something quick. So as this thing drops down underneath the water, that's going to be an instant thing. And once it starts to take off and things like that, for ranged attackers, it's kind of an attack of opportunity that I'm just giving you here. Does that make sense? So with that, and this thing dives down underneath the waves, what is the reaction of the group? I will start with Darius. as you're the next actual player in our rotation. Valdera's in the water. It would be you next, sir.
Honestly, I would say, because of my current standing, like Darius doesn't know that's happening. He's walking away, he doesn't see the thing, so Darius wouldn't do anything. Plus,
okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this just you giving it as the DM, or is this something that happens in this particular setting in general? Because usually you don't get a ranged attack of opportunity.
Right. This is just a DM. This is just some flavor I'm putting on. And there's some things adding up in my mind here. It had fairy fire on it. It's just been wounded, and it's dropping down, turning its back, and taking off. This is just something for flavor that I'm adding to it. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that way I know going forward.
Right on.
Because I don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, I'm thinking like in that 6-second period, and the reaction would be like 2 seconds. Would I would say no personally, but I'm asking you because if so, I will do this. Have time to roll a perception check to see if I notice that thing, and load it, because that's the thing. I don't think I'd be able to load that ballista and shoot it in that quick reaction.
You could see if it were loaded or not, and since you're holding concentration on it for the fairy fire, I'm going to say you don't need a perception check to see what it's doing.
Okay. So,
is that fair? I think that's right.
I mean, I'm down for that.
Yeah. Right on.
So,
yeah.
So I guess at that point, like, we'll say I guess it's making some sort of ruckus that pulls my attention back to it, and I notice it's starting to go, and I'm like, fuck, and I notice that the ballista is right in my face.
Yes.
Is it loaded? Is it even loaded?
Hey, Sean, you get to decide if the ballista is loaded or not. 1 through 10, the ballista is loaded. 11 through 20, it is not. There is no bolt currently in the damn ballista.
So he would still have moved up to it to kind of run up, and as he like smacks it to kind of pull the thing back, he notices there's no bolt, and he's just like, fuck. And that's
fuck, yeah. Right on. I take my action to go, fuck. All right, that works, buddy. Mm-hmm. With that, we'll go ahead and make that the end there. Celine, as this thing drops down underneath the waves, you're in the middle of trying to reload your bow. You know, Isadora is up there above the creature. It feels this necrotic presence on it. It has decided it can't heal. It can't do all this shit. It is getting out of here. I will give you a reaction to either say or do something minor. Like one attack type stuff. Whatever your heart desires here within reason. You are muted, sir. I'm sorry.
You're going to have to repeat everything you just said because you just glitched out during that entire speech.
Okay, it's all good because now I've rehearsed
that was him? That is that happen to him every now and then, guy? Because I'm over here going I'm like freaking out. Like, why is my internet crappy?
That was the first. I actually just got a little sign that said my internet lagged, but that's the first time it's done it tonight. So yeah, that's me. So,
all right, it might be mine too then.
DM Brian, take 2. All right, so this thing drops down below the waves. It has the fairy fire casting on it. It can't heal because of you. It can't feel its ribs because of Silouan. Its mer people are just getting axe kicked in the face by Drayden. It is getting the hell out of here. You're in the middle of reloading, and you see this thing just bugging out. I'm going to give you a reaction to do something. One attack or something like a bonus action, a quick kind of thing. Just use your imagination. What will you do as this thing is... It dives in the water and is headed out. You can just see the shadow and maybe the image of some fins above the waters. It's getting ready to take off. You are muted still.
If someone were to see Celine's face, her face is kind of turning like dark grayish pale, almost that of Sade's. And then in a moment she realizes, and it all sinks back to white, her eyes go back to golden, and she calls back Isadora to her side.
Okay, awesome. Was there anything else, or is that it for you, sir?
No, that's it.
Awesome. As Isadora cries out at the creature, almost to mock it, almost like a raven would, and it comes back to the side of Celine on the ship. Okay. With that, who else wants a little something here? Has anyone got anything particularly that they're wanting to pull off as this thing is taking off? Now, Brahmas, you wouldn't be able to because you're on the other side of the ship. Silowin is just now trying to tread water as this thing takes off. Valdera is swimming around here trying to find the rope. Let me do a perception check for her to see if she's able to get to somewhere before the water starts to get into her lungs. With a natural 19, only being 3 foot below the water now and seeing Drayden come to her, I think it's safe to go ahead and turn down the battle map and just go ahead and play this out straight. Y'all good with that? Okay.
Sure.
Pause. And pause. And let's see here for just a minute. Okay, let me go ahead and stop. Well, first I'll save it and then I'll stop share. Okay. With that, it's 8:42. If you guys would like to take a quick 10 or 15 minute long break, and then we'll come back and get into the narrative of this. I think it'd be a really good point in time if you guys are okay with that. Let me stop share first. Sound good for everybody? Okay, so I'll go ahead and pause recording, and then we'll come back to just going into some RP here and get through this. All right, see you here in just a few. And we are back. I'm eating some chili. Colby's talking about how far a dinosaur can swim, and we're going through some shit here. So, moving forward, we saw that the big bad, the sea scourge, has bugged out. We have Colby's character sitting there talking to, or getting ready to possibly have an interaction with Brahmas. I'm going to kind of just ease into this and see who wants to go first with doing what. Does anyone have anything particularly that they're wanting to speak about or do as this happens?
Celine is just going to go ahead and take a quick stop of who needs tending to medically.
Okay, so go ahead and role play that for me for just a minute, bud. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Let's have some fun here. Corey, roll me a 1d20. Jeremy, roll me a 1d20. Silowin, roll me a 1d20. I'm seeing how the people in the water are doing. And Colby, roll me a 1d20. Tell me what your results are, guys.
9.
Could have been better. Swing and a miss. It's all good, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
If my character drowns after all this shit, I am blaming. Oh, don't you? No, none of that. Okay. Jeremy.
9.
A 9.
Well, hold on. You said just flat D20, right?
Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay.
Right.
Rachel.
I rolled a 9.
Colby.
8.
Oh, damn.
Dang, he broke the 9 streak.
Sean, I'm going to go ahead and let you roll D20.
Natural 20, like.
Well, that takes care of an 8 and a 9, for God's sake.
Coming in clutch.
Right? So we got, that's 1, 2, that's 5 rolls. We have an average of 9, 9, 9, 18, 27, 37, 47. That's 55. Divided by 10 is 11. Quick math. So that's a success, barely, is what that averages out to with everyone. So we're going to role play that. When you guys finally see Bastille misty step once again down to the end of his rope, and he's holding his arm out. Drayden, soaking wet, the lion Felidae monk, in the water with his arm around Valdera, which is exhausted, spitting up water, bringing her and grabbing onto his arm, trying to get people pulled on board. As Silouan is able to fight back against the waves, the rain, just because of the rolls, is still coming in heavy. It's being relentless. You're getting water in your mouth, Silouan, as you're trying to make your way back to the ship.
Question, is Aeolus on the ship?
Aeolus was standing in the doorway.
He was in the doorway. Okay.
Yeah, he was holding...
Would Celine have seen him? Sorry.
Absolutely. Yes, he would have been. He had you covered, and he's helping guard that layer of defense so no one could get to Oma. And Dahon's down below, standing by the door, adamant, will not move. They're guarding the lower decks.
As Celine is part of the whole thing where she's trying to get everybody, healed up and whatnot, you see her hair go black and her voice change to that of Sade's as she starts ordering commands to get rope and help pull these people on the ship.
Roll a check for me to see how you do with your persuasion. And remember, you have skills towards that. You are very proficient on a ship and things of that nature. While I eat a bowl of chili, you roll your stuff. September, baby. Gotta have some chili.
Okay, it's going to be a total of 18.
18's pretty good. It's better than a difficult thing. You got over 15. You're not making Popeye the Sailor Man out of everybody, but you're doing well with this. What is the focus? Are you wanting to aid with the people that are overboard and have the crew take care of that? You want to have people give them repairs? You want people to look for more stuff in the horizon?
I think I would send... I would kind of split it between any repairs that need to be done and getting the people that are overboard onto the ship.
Okay. Roll me a 1d6. Tell me what you get.
1.
One person is dealing with the repairs.
Okay.
Roll me another 1d6.
A 6.
And that's why, as the boat shifts... Everybody runs over to the railing to try to assist with everything that's going on there. Good deal, Sean. I like the way that worked out. That was nice. So, as you are in this moment, let's have an interaction here. Do you personally want to put a hand over the side and help up somebody, and I'll randomly roll to see who it is you're helping?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's say that... But just for theatrics, because Bastille's helping on them, we're going to make this Silouan. Okay? And I want you to describe what you look like to her. And I want you, just for the hell of it, Silouan, I want you to roll me a dexterity check. And I want to see if you lost your helmet, some pieces of your armor, some things that may have happened to you while you were down there. Your check will determine how good it is. Add your bonuses to this as well.
Yeah, I rolled a 17 plus 4, 21.
Okay. You were thankfully able to keep on to the majority of your gear. I'm going to say you don't notice that anything's missing. And remember, you wear this stuff as a badge of strength. And it's nice for you to roll so good and be doing this well in this particular contest because you used that wing to push yourself up to the surface of the water. You took the things that would make you weaker in the eyes of those people that, where you were from, and you came out on top today. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind moving forward in the things that you say and your mentality. Although you are quite exhausted, roll me a Constitution basic check. I just want to see the level and how you are feeling after being waterlogged in this way.
7.
And that pretty much tells the story right there. Extraordinarily prideful, strong in the eyes, weak in the legs. Okay? So that's kind of helps set the mood for how you're doing. As you get to the side of the ship, realizing that you still have your larger than mine lance, Sean, please go ahead and give us a scene here.
Celine rushes over to the side of the ship, sees Silhouin struggling to get up, and she reaches out her hand, visibly shorter than when she was Shade, by at least a good 3 inches. So she reaches out and says, "Give me your hand, Silhouin."
Okay. I reach out my hand to Celine, and I'm like grabbing on as tightly as I can, like trying while still like kind of like choking water. I'm like cough it.
Okay.
As she grabs onto my hand, you see yellow runes pulse on my right hand as you feel a surge of energy pulse through your body, healing you. Oh, it's not. Sorry. Monk dies at D8 for 4 points of damage. So healing you for 4 points.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
With that, this maybe gives you theatrically enough strength to be able to get the rest back the way back on the ship. Okay.
Okay.
As you land on the ship, you immediately can't help but have your mind drawn to Brahmas. You two are literally from the same place, and you don't see them anywhere. You also worry about Oma, and if she's been kept safe throughout all this. You would also, there would be a lot of different things on your mind. I want you to think about the next steps you'll be taking, as I'm going to say that your sleep that you were in the middle of when all this happened, it's going to be about 2:30 to 3 a.m. in the morning right now, as you were awoke in the middle of your sleep. So there's still that time to finish this night off. Okay? With that, I would like to move over to Darius. As you were standing there by the ballista, you hear rubble and things drop as if someone took a handful of stones and threw them on the deck of the ship as they ping across the wooden planks. As Taliban, this large, native-looking monk that seems to have skin made of stone, seems to reduce his size just a little bit and seem a little bit more natural, although still very strong, covered with tattoos and a tattoo of a compass on his head, his shaven head. As he looks over to you, and he looks at the ballista, he turns his head and walks past you almost stoically, almost like some kind of large creature unyielding to the things that are around it. He's very monstrous in this way, is the only way I can really describe it. Almost like you see tourists taking pictures of an elephant that could give a shit if they're there or not. It's almost that kind of thing. He continues to walk across the ship, and as he does, he grabs onto the rope, and as Bastille has been walking back in towards the ship from the sail, dragging Drayden and Valder along the way, Caliban reaches over and you can see the large muscles in his back as he reaches down and starts to row this rope, pulling them up the side of the ship almost as if a winch was being reeled in. What is it that your character is currently doing?
So I'd imagine that Darius kind of, you know, watches as he walks by and just kind of like, you know, gives him a moment of pause, like he's about to say something, but kind of turns back towards, like, looking out of at the area, you know, seeing, you know, the creature is now you know, disappeared, and it's seeing if there's anyone else kind of waiting around in the water, not knowing if people fell overboard before he came up, things like that.
Okay. As you do this, Aeolus, you can hear his boots walk across the deck of the ship as he comes up to you, and you can hear, well, well, well. We should be glad you woke up, shouldn't we? He looks over to you in a little bit. What is your current level right now of your little special score?
13.
It gives you a once over. As you and he comes up, and he's not trying to keep it completely hidden, but he's mannerly walking up to you and talking to you in person. Okay, and he has kind of that, not exactly a British, but he kind of has that certain tone to himself, like the old ship captains and shit from the movies. And he says to you, he says, well, we should be glad that there's at least some time to settle down for the rest of the night. He raises an eyebrow and looks at you, and he puts a hand on your left shoulder in a hearty pat as he takes his gun and he sheaves it back into his chest where he has 3 crossed underneath his long captain's coat. And he says, and maybe moving forward, we could leave those doors unlocked. You seem to have a grip on things. Do you have any reply to this?
He's like, Darius is just kind of like looking and listening, intently, and kind of, I don't know. I think he's trying to, like an insight, kind of trying to get a vibe for like, what does this guy know that he's not telling Darius?
Okay. Roll me insight, please.
Okay, that's a little odd. That's another 9. My insight's not good, so that'd be
It's all
13.
good. It's all good. We'll play it out. Total of 13?
Yeah.
Okay. You believe in his sarcasm. And you don't even know if it's sarcasm. It's hard to define because he says things with a charm and a swagger of a airship captain, gambler extraordinaire that you've seen these kind of people before. You know what it is to be charismatic. You're a bard. You're a damn good one. But his swagger is pretty extraordinary. And these little hints that he gives, only when he's in close to you, you feel like he knows things. But you're not sure as to what extent. When you look him up and down, it's not like you see him carrying or holding anything that would give you some kind of sign. Like he's not part of a certain kind of clerics that deals in certain shit. He doesn't have any kind of symbol on him or represents that he would know stuff about those curses and things. But there's something. He knows something. You just don't know how or why. Okay?
Well, I mean, with that being said, like I imagine, like, Darius is kind of, looking up and down, trying to get a read and just not picking up. And Darius is not one to he's not one to reveal secrets, but he's also not one to not probe. So I imagine he just kind of looks at him and goes, well, I will appreciate everything that you can offer, and I'm not sure why you thought it might have been wise to have locked the door, but that is okay. I do not know you, you do not know me, but I do have somewhere I have to be, and I noticed in your quarters, it seems that we might be on a similar path. So I would like to offer whatever services that I can offer to help expedite our travels to that.
He grins at that, and he sticks his chest and goes, well, offering services before I even had a chance to offer my hand. He says, you've certainly got one up on Dahan, but don't let him know that. His pride couldn't take it. He says, you and as far as similar paths, as long as you're on the path of adventure and you're not scared of heights, and you can handle yourself, possibly we can get you to where you need to be, if you even truly know, because I sure as fuck don't. And he smiles at that prospect. This is an adventurer, and you're really getting that whimsical way. I don't know if it'd be reassuring or unsettling that someone that is so just in the wind and just flying by the seat of his pants here is the main guy in charge of this fucking thing. It would be interesting, to say the very least.
I feel like Darius would give a little. Well, they do say it's oftentimes the journey more than the destination that we are looking for. So I would like to maybe spend some time to go over my path that I wish to see if you're in that on that way. If not, I will offer what I can as long as I can until I must go. But I do have my own journey to attend to as well.
As you say that, he looks up. He goes. So many things to say, and he says, "And for God's sakes, is the violin okay?" And he looks at you with a humorous look, looking at you up and down, as if he's not worried about you at all, just as long as your musical instrument is okay, so you're able to be entertaining. Do a search on yourself. I'm curious to see if your violin took a hit or anything during this.
So like a perception, or
Sure, yeah. And I'm going to roll something to see if maybe you broke a string, it got cracked or something in all the ruckus here.
All right, I'm going to try something.
Absolutely.
I'm a little skeptical of this damn app I'm using. Like, I've literally rolled everything under 10 nonstop, and I'm like, huh? But
you just need to go to Rachel.com. I hear Rachel.com has some damn good rolls on it.
Right?
Right on.
Because I think the D&D Beyond app has a dice roller now, right?
I don't use it real often, but sure. I think they do.
Okay. Well,
yeah, the website has a dice roller, I think. I don't know if there's an app or not.
Yeah, I know that the website has it, so I'm just gonna pop that in real quick.
Okay.
Because the app just got updated, and I swear they put it where you can do that. But I'll just do the website real quick, like just to maneuver.
Yes,
this.
the app does have dice roller on it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I had it downloaded, but apparently I don't. So okay, D20.
And Brian, you got my message, right?
I did not, but I'll look at it now. Is this on Facebook?
Yes.
Perception. So that would be a 15.
15. Okay. So 1 through 15, your violin's fine. 16 through 20, and there's a little trouble.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 3. Your violin is in good condition, sir. Just 1 second, let me read something here. Got it. Thank you, Sean. And don't be afraid to shout at your DM if I'm not acting like I'm reading your messages. It's all good. So,
So I need one more thing, sorry.
Oh, you pain in my ass, Sean, I swear.
Well, with knowing that role, then I imagine that like I kind of like pull back and like grab the violin and pull it up and just kind of like strum a little tune and be like, well, it seems to be pretty well intact at this point.
Okay. My internet is dropping. Just a second. Okay, I should be back. Did I pause on you guys? Okay, did I pause on you guys? Can you see me now? This is going to look great in the recording. Okay, tell me if you guys... it seemed like it dropped down. Can you guys hear me now?
It's crap.
Recording's in progress. So that's one neat thing about Zoom is when it kicks me off, it automatically starts recording back up again. So hopefully in post, that'll only look a little weird.
Right.
So, and I saw the second that we all started freezing, and it's twice tonight my internet's dropped down. Sucks. So, try to remember the last thing you guys heard me saying. Oh, okay. So you were going to start playing the violin. With that, he hears Celine or start talking to the different crew members and offering up options and things to help get everyone on board. And he says, well, I can't keep people waiting. I've It would seem I have competition, if you'll excuse me. And he pulls his coat over to the side and he walks over towards, past you, over towards where Celine is on the edge of the ship, trying to give a hand and give out orders. This changeling, mystic kind of looking character seems to know its way around a ship, Darius. Okay? Now I'd like to move on to Brahmas and Kiltusk. Okay? So, Brahmas, how is it you would like to work your way back towards the ship?
He's just gonna kind of trudge his way through.
Okay. As you do this, just for the hell of it, roll me an athletics check using Brahmas's stuff.
That's an 11.
Okay, so here's what you do. Kiltusk, as you are climbing up the side of the ship, and your creature has dropped you off, do you wish it to go back to the banks and wait for you, or do you want to kind of stay there, maybe try to find something to hold on to? What would you like for Loki to do as you board the ship? You're muted, sir.
Yeah. I would have like Loki just like go back to the store and just like people look out to make sure that nothing will come out of nowhere and like surprise us or something like that.
Okay. So, as it does and it goes back over to the shore, I'm curious of something. Okay. It goes and it wanders and it kind of looks and it looks out at you at the side of its eye with that one wide eye, turns its head sideways and kind of walks around. And you notice it goes back over to where those corpses of those Tritons, or not just Tritons, those Marrows were. And it just kind of pushes in one and starts to bite on and drags a piece of one up on the bank and decides that it's going to take a moment and have a little bit of food here. It spats and spits because these things have a bit of poison to them as it eats, so it's not the best stuff it's had, but it's going through that kind of, it's putting its head up and chomp, 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 gets back into it, does it again, just kind of looking around, twerking his head. They're very, I've watched Jurassic Park. I'm up to date on this kind of shit. I know that
dinosaur wine tasting.
Oh yeah, of course I did. I swashed it around, and I see them moving kind of bird-like and twitchy and kind of stuff like that. Conspiracy theorists say they were feathered anyway, so it's all good. Having said that, Brahmas makes his way, and you lose him as you look over your shoulder, Kiltusk, and then all of a sudden you feel the boat sway as you're climbing up around the very top of it, with your bow on your back and your quiver still very full, and you feel lean back a little bit, and you see Brahmas has just marched through the bottom of this and is now rope climbing like Jim the anchor. As he's pulling his way up because he tried swimming and it just wasn't working. So he just did this the deep sea diver kind of guy in the old 1800s suit, and you just walk the bottom, found the anchor, and you're just pulling your way up, and it's making the ship kind of rock as he's coming. Brahmas, as your head appears above the water, and you would see Kiltusk just now getting ready to board. Kiltusk, I would like to ask you, what is your demeanor? Just kind of give me your mind. Are you wanting to greet these people? Are you wanting to make sure everything's safe? Are you looking for more of the bad guys? Are you being like, welcome to Fantasy Island? I mean, what exactly is it that you're doing here, sir? You're like, that's a damn good question, Brian.
Yeah. I want to say, like...
Go ahead.
I want to say, like, that he's going to be, like, a little cautious, even with knowing what looks like to be one of his gods with this ship, and who seems to be willing to protect the ship, but he really doesn't know, like, anybody on this ship. He doesn't know what their intentions are, like just because they help them, they fought more. Does like they can like my character can probably think those creatures just attack anybody. So
That's fair. Okay.
not knowing of what they're so not knowing their true intentions, he might be a little cautious and a little on guard because he doesn't know quite to expect when he boards this ship.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. So, as you get to the top of it, and you go to put a foot over, or you first poke your head over the top, you hear a voice come down from you, and it's in the crow's nest up above in the main mass of this thing. And you hear well, hello. I didn't realize we had more than one thing that was trying to creep up on the ship tonight. He looks at you and he goes, can you understand what I'm saying? And it seems to be, it's if these type of people in their strange dress and their more elaborate and fancy clothing, unnecessarily as far as you would be concerned, if they had a hunter amongst them, someone that lurked in the shadows like a panther in a way, this would be the version of that. This person seems to have a elongated features to a degree, very pale with a light blue silver shimmer to their skin, and their face wrapped up with a hood on, wearing dark clothes. Daggers that seem to be glowing a faint white are sheathed at his sides, hanging, as he has gloved hands with the fingers showing, as he's holding up and wrapping himself around. And as he looks over to you, he pulls the hood back to reveal somewhat pointed ears. And he looks down at you with this soft voice and says these words to you. Roll a history check with disadvantage.
$15.
This is some kind of elf, although you're not sure the species. What is your reply? You understand basic common, and you have yet to have spoken to these people. Now, and here's the thing. First time you're getting ready to speak is your character, really, right? So here's the thing. We know you're from. I don't expect you to be this amazing Aztec-like ancient Mexico version of a accent. So if you're uncomfortable doing that, don't do it. It's all good. The trick is to know how they're feeling and convey it and say it. So if you want to describe the accent every once in a while just to keep people in sync with you, that's one good way of doing it. And if you ever find yourself or you're not quite sure what you would say, we can always roll charisma checks to see how well you do, and that will dictate how good the shit is that you say. It's almost like pickup lines on girls. You either do like a really shitty one or a really good one, and charisma checks will help you through this. So if you would describe kind of the dress, the way you look to everyone, and give us an idea of the accent and things and the voice you're wanting to stick with. Okay?
Okay, so
no pressure.
So when they come over the ship, you can see my headdress. What was it? We called it a poncho, right? I was like
Panacho. P-E-N-A-C-H-O. Panacho. It's an Aztec word that means headdress. Yes.
Yeah, I
you
knew
have one on now, right?
Yeah, I have my Panacho on.
Which one? You have two.
Yeah.
Which one? Is this the one that resembles the bird, or is this the one that resembles the beast?
I'm gonna go with bird.
Okay. So, what's interesting here, and I'm going to say Bastille sees this, and at this point, Brahmas, you would too. Silouan, as you're starting to come up out of the ship, you would see this headdress come up over the side as Bastille is hanging down from the crow's nest, having this conversation with somebody that appears to be local here. Okay? Celine, I'm just going to go ahead and say, since you're in the middle of healing and doing these things, you would happen to notice it as well. Is that cool?
Yeah. At that point, Isadora turns briefly from her previous target and looks at that one and starts kind of shifting periodically between the two people she's observing.
Gotcha, buddy. The headdress of this local person seems to resemble what we were briefed on. It is a primitive but finely crafted looking representation of the Lard Quetzalcoatl, the large rock-like avian creature that we're here to help deal with. There is a large beak that seems to be made out of some kind of metal that is polished. It comes down in parts over top, just barely covering the eyes of this character as he looks up from between there. He has different kind of face paint on himself to camouflage and accentuate and hide certain features, as it's dark around the eyes but bright and white stripes of dots around the chin. This is a darkly tanned person but not black, a Mesoamerican. Okay, there are purple and orange and red feathers that seem to adorn this large headdress as they fan out from behind him. This is to make him be feared by people that fear the creature. He is a local. I will now give you the chance to respond to Bastille however you would like, and then I'll leave it open to whoever would like to walk over and say whatever, and we can just have a conversation. But he has asked if you understand him.
In like a broad, heavy voice, was what I would think with this character. He would
Okay.
He says he would say, yes, I do understand your common language.
Okay. He says, well, that's a start. I would say the seafood that floats about now probably didn't understand anything more than the sound of their bellies. He gives you a once over with a clever look. With that, who would like to be next, or if anyone?
Celine is just going to go over who is on deck and administer health and medicine checks and all that stuff to see who needs it. Use her abilities to extract poison if anybody's poisoned.
Okay.
And then she poignantly takes a moment to, when she looks Darius up and down, and then she looks Kiltusk up and down.
Okay. As that happens, Darius, roll me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
My perception is a +4, so that would be at disadvantage, a 17.
17 is pretty good. You would see these, and right now, are your eyes the large yellow, Celine, or what do they look like?
Yeah.
As this
yellow
being, this obviously some form of shifter, looks at you with these large eyes that almost seem to be, I don't know how you would describe it, almost like when you look at a Siberian Husky and they have this kind of scary kind of look into their eyes, like you're not quite sure what's behind them. You know what I mean? When albino people give you that look with those eyes, and it's very unsettling to a degree. This person gives you a look like that, and with that perception, you happen to notice this black raven that's flying up above and is perched on a sail, and its head is nodded and has a very similar eerie presence, almost just like the person in front of you. Their heads are almost cocked the same way. One is looking at you from behind the other. It is a strange feeling that you gather from this. Just wanted to throw that out there. Jeremy, you make your way to the top of the railing, and as you begin to pull yourself
Not very
over,
gracefully, I might add.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? For that, roll me a dex check.
Yeah. 16.
You get it done. I'm not saying
I just like to imagine him like getting up there and then like throwing the leg over and then just kind of like rolling over onto the deck of the ship. Just because, climbing's not exactly his thing.
Okay. You would hear music being played in the background by Darius. And it starts to fill the now calmer air as the rain seems to have slacked some but still coming down. He seems to have found his way underneath of the main tarp as it bellows out and is finding a dry spot to begin to perform. Valdera would walk across with the black matted hair over one side and would walk up to give you a hand to help you get the rest of the way over the railing. Okay? She would look at you and she would say, kind of like, I wouldn't have figured you would have been one of the first ones to jump in the water, but, teach their own, I suppose.
Well, you don't really have to worry about much. You know me. I see somebody in need. That's where I head.
She goes, and I'm assuming this is someone in need? And Valdera takes a few steps towards you, Killtusk, and looks you up and down. Do you know who Valdera is and what she looks like? Have you heard me describe her? Okay. Valdera is about a 6'1" tall female. We did discuss this because she's the one that played on The Mandalorian. She's the dark-haired woman. It's shaved on the side with the scars. She has that outfit that looks like it's an armor that is fashioned after a chimera, which is a medieval monster that has the 3 heads, and a large runed greatsword that seems to be a relic from a long since time, ridiculously big. And she has a very sharp eyebrow to her, attractive, but in a gothic dark type of way. And she is looking you up and down, and she goes, "Are you the only one?"
No, I am not. There is a few more of my village, more inland, and I just came out here to check on my traps I have set.
She turns around and she looks up at the thing and looks up at Bastille up in the mess. She goes, "A village! Told you we'd find it. We're on the right path." She looks at you, she goes, "In your village, do they like food?" She has a half smirk on her face.
Yes, we do. And once a week, we have a big feast for the giant bird that we like to praise and hope for another good, continuous, peaceful year on this island.
As you say that, she turns and looks over her shoulder to Silowin. Silowin, initially in the city, you, out of the entire group, were one of the only ones that had serious doubts about what we should be doing here. And this was role-played before, and I'm just giving you a little bit of backstory. This is things that actually happened in-game, okay? As the group was coming here to seemingly liberate, to a degree, that the majority of the view of the people here in this party was that this creature is something that was celebrated as somewhat like a demigod, a way for them to prove their worth and things like that. But the letter that we got that was sent to the heart of the beast was sent by people that have evolved their mindset quite a bit. These people know that this creature, and they believe it not to be some kind of deity now. They believe it's a murderous creature that's been preying on the innocents of this place for far too long. Now, some folks around here believe this thing to be a deity. That is their only way to be taken up into the skies when they die, so they can have an eternal hunting ground to hunt in, practically. There are some that believe that the creature needs to be destroyed to set the people free of its oppression. And then there are some people that are kind of in between ground on this. And Colby, we've discussed, you know where you lie. You don't care for the thing very much. You believe it's a right to an end, but you want to destroy the thing just because you feel that's your personal battle. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you don't know, you just know the first two parts of this Silouan. But as soon as he mentions that this thing is possibly a deity and respected and things like that, Valdera looks over her shoulder and she looks at you. Because you two were on opposite sides of this. You weren't about killing it. Valdera was about cutting its head off. And the two of you had kind of a heated debate about it. You know, what right do we have to come in there and tell people what they can and can't believe in? And Valdera's was like, what right do these people have to hold children accountable and sacrifice lives to something that's only hungry? So it was very interesting. And in that moment, you two share that locking eye. Do you say anything as this foreigner has spoke these words that you can understand?
I sort of eye Valdera, and I don't say anything. I just sort of like give her that look. It's like, I'm still standing by my morals. That's sort of like the look that I'm giving her.
Okay. With that, preparations continue to be made on the ship. The rain seems to pick up again, and Aeolus comes over and says, I suggest that we try to get at least what we can out of this ridiculously vague, bleak, and adventurous night, and try to find some rest for a change. He goes, you, and he's looking at you, Kiltusk. And he says, you seem to be part of the locals, yes? There's a nod. And he says, I don't know what I can offer you, but if there's something you would require in order to help us watch and make sure that we can actually get some sleep, so maybe we could help you people. And he points up at your headdress. He says, I would gladly share it with you. Are we agreed? Are we safe here, or are you just sizing us up? What are you saying to that, Colby?
You can count on being safe as long as you are showing that you will be peaceful with my village and with our allies.
And almost in a tone that you're not used to. You're not used to humor a whole lot, especially on this level. He goes, peace. I love peace. I love a piece of this and a piece of that. Maybe I have a piece of something that you would like as well. He says, you're not against going indoors, are you? As he ushers a hand and opens up for all of us to go back down below decks and go ahead and back to where we were resting before. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay? So, if any of you in particular have something you want to do before we try to go through this sleep thing again, for God's sake, please remember, I can tell you anything you want to know about this ship, anything you want to go, anywhere you want to look, anyone you want to interact with, I got your back. Okay? But with the rain coming down the way it is and the battle that just happened, here's a couple things that I believe would be off the table. I believe that people sleeping up above decks now, in light of everything that just happened, would be frowned upon. You can do it, but there's not going to be hardly anyone else up here with you, especially with the rain picking up even more. Whereas these tarps were laying over the top, this sideways slanting shit, it's going to be rough. Now, Brahmas, that doesn't really bother you so much, but for Silowin, which decided to stay up here before, this would make this an unlikely option, but you can do it if you'd like, okay? We also have the large cargo area underneath the bottom of the ship that has bedrolls and things put out. We also have, I think there were 12 personal rooms throughout the ship for the immediate crew. You guys could bunk up with all kinds of different people or with each other. So if you're interested in doing that, perfectly fine. Do you guys want to go just a touch further tonight, or do you want me to go ahead and wrap this up and you can think about the arrangements until next week? It's up to you all.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
Are we still in the same spot?
The
boat
ship was already beached, yes.
Yeah, so we're beached.
You know, the bottom of it was. There's still quite a bit of deep water going out there, so you'd have to go, what was it, like 60 foot almost, to be on solid ground from the edge of the boat. It ran into there, but there was still more water between it and the shoreline because the boat's so deep below.
All right. So just to make sure, I imagine like if we're all on deck and everyone's kind of going up to what I'm assuming, everyone went up to this new person who nobody seems to know. Mm-hmm. So you said Aeolus was kind of questioning him. So I imagine Darius at some point would have kind of like, sauntered on over and then yeah, not hearing at any point anyone asking, Darius would just kind of like blurt out, is no one going to question that? And he just kind of points out to the water. Will it not come back and just do what it seemed to do a moment ago?
Go ahead, Kill Tusk. Roll me a history check, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
Best time for low rolls.
Oh God!
Yeah.
What have you done?
I got a natural 2, so
at least it wasn't a 1.
It's only 19 lower than Rachel's average roll. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It really isn't. So typically, you know that when you fish and you catch something in your nets and you let it go, sometimes you'll catch the same fish 2 or 3 times in the same day, especially the ones that you don't like to eat. They just keep getting in your nets. It's annoying. Okay? When it comes to amphibious monsters and creatures like this, you don't know if they get the point any better than the fish that you catch. You don't really have enough in your memory banks and have enough experience of shit outside of the dense jungle that you're used to being a part of to really know. All you know is that sometimes you catch the same fish a couple times that you don't want to, but you know a person would be smarter enough to stay the hell away if they got their ass whipped. So with that information, Kill Tusk, answer the man's question if you want to. Or just fake a seizure and don't answer it. It's completely up to you, buddy.
So I will tell Darius that I believe that if it is smart and not dumb as a fish, it will not come back. But just to be safe and just to take another step of precaution, I will signal, I'll like call for my animal and have it purge itself up here to alert us, at least to alert me if it sees anything coming at us. So
you know what? Just to help you out, just a touch, just for flavor, because this is kind of going along with what you're doing. Roll me a 1d20. The higher, the better.
7.
A 10?
7.
7. No. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, go, and that's what you hear, Darius. That's his answer to you. It seems like he's pondering an idea,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't come through. But he makes sense.
Well, you did say that you have a village nearby, though. Could we not get off of this possible death trap to maybe get further away from the water to sleep more safely?
Valdera points her
Aeolus when I
hand
say
over
that.
towards you. Valdera points her hand over towards you and goes, "Now we're talking." As you say that and stuff, and she slicks that hair back out of her face and looks over to Aeolus, and you hear a small bombardier steampunk dwarf with soaked red hair and a beard go by with goggles that he's taken off and putting up on his head as he walks by and goes, "Death trap. Death trap my ass." And he walks by gruffly as you're calling his vessel a death trap, offended by that to some degree. You didn't even know where this guy came from. He just kind of walked out of nowhere. As he walks around, and you can hear him chinking and moving around, and he's got like little hand cannons and shit all over him.
I said possible.
Very nice, very nice. Promise
Okay.
They'll kind of look over off the boat towards the island, and I hate to admit it, but we're stuck between that thing coming back or braving whatever is in uncharted territory as far as we're concerned. This late at night, we don't know what wonders on the land.
Well, it's not uncharted, and I point at Kiltusk.
Kiltusk, I'm going to tell you something here to help you out. Because this is something I do as a hunter, and Danny McGuffey, Danny is he is a hunter. When it comes to talking about mechanics, this man deer hunts and misses weeks of work just to do it. He's got like all these deer scents sitting up there like we have spice racks in our kitchen. Danny's the shit about this. And I grew up hunting too. Sometimes to know what's out there, we'll do a locate call. Like if you're doing for coyotes or you're trying to call in different kinds of creatures just to see what's going on out there. With them having these kind of concerns about things like this, Kiltusk, that's an option for you. I'm trying to kind of help guide you into the flavor of some of the things that your character does in situations like this. Now, you don't have to do this by any means. This is just an option. I'm going to give you, that's one of them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's the option where you could put down nets, your fishing nets, all around the bottom of the boat if they want to stay on the boat to signal you if something comes back out of the water again. Okay? There's different kinds of calls. You can send out your beast to make a perimeter and search out ahead of you and do your communion where you can see through the beast's eyes to see if it locates and finds anything. Those are just 3 decent flavored options that you have that I'm just kind of coming up with off the top of my head. Or now that you know that those are things you can kind of do, maybe something else along that line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good chance for you to flex a little bit of your character's muscle. So before we end tonight, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but is there anything there that piques your interest or something maybe you'd like to do?
Maybe I'll send a call through my horn to see if any of my fellow hunters might still be out there, and to see if they know it's still safe to travel through the forest to the way back to the village.
Okay, so that's fair. And let me explain a little bit of something you may not have known. Okay, there are only a very few handful of you that are out here.
Mm-hmm.
You are an island away from where you're typically from. And the reason being is, okay, and we've discussed this kind of, but it'd be nice to tell you while we're playing, okay? Because this is all part of the theater of it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You are searching for ways to take this creature down. It is back. You know the division is starting amongst the different people of the different islands. Each island seems to have their own particular ideas. And whereas the place you're from which is one island over, and we'll get into that this week. I have it all written down. I just need to give it to you, okay?
Okay.
They believe in doing the battle because it proves something to them. And you're starting to feel on the side of, this is kind of madness. This thing has been killing so many people, and it's hit very close to you. And you and a handful of people have kind of separated yourselves from your normal tribe. You are heavily disliked from them now, but you're trying to put an end to something to stop all the senseless murdering and shit like that. Okay? There are only a very small handful of you out here looking for different ways. There's different creature calls you're trying to hunt for. There's a large creature out here in this island that looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but with horns on top of its head, like dragon horns, and has the colorful feathers around its neck and plumage. That's called a Rethodon. Okay? And you believe that there is a ruin out here in this island. Alright? That will hold a weapon that would actually be able to give you the ability to take down this large avian creature. The weapon is called the Vulcan. It is an ancestral spear of legend that was put into a tomb in a crypt of a guy called Darwin Tur. I'll give you this information. It's already done. I just have to share the folder with you. And if you're able to unlock and find the tomb of Darwin Tur and get the Vulcan, you believe you might have a shot at actually taking this creature down. And your other brothers and sisters that are out there are searching for it. No one has found it yet. It has been weeks. But you believe that these large creatures have a key to them to being able to find this thing. Okay? That is where you're at right now and what you know.
Okay.
So play on that when you're talking about the different people, the village. The only village you know of is a small home that is owned by a female, one of your people that was a deserter from this. She lives in a place that you guys have built over the last few weeks as a makeshift place, deep into the center of this island. That would be a safe place for you to go, but you know this is a dangerous island. There's all kinds of creatures out here. And I'll leave you with that information, okay?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, I guess now knowing that,
yeah,
I will tell all of you that there are and could be more that my character and the fellow hunters that are with me may not know yet, because we only been here for weeks. There could be worse things than what we just fought, and they could come at, and we don't know if they're like hunting packs or just like single hunters.
And did you mention that you were going to do that call? Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah, I was doing that call.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I just wasn't sure.
Like, just to make sure that like the people I'm with on the island with are like still safe. Just to know that our location is also safe. Just to make sure that they're still out there. And that with me leaving, I just didn't leave them to danger.
Okay. And did you have some more to say before you perform that, or were you going to do that now, sir?
I was going to do that now.
Okay.
And
please go ahead. Yes.
And so I also will. I'm like in my character's like broad, deep voice. He says like, do you rather fight small minions and one giant boss, or like one giant heavily powered creature, or possibly fight one or more powerful at the same time, and not fight like smaller power enemies with it.
Okay. So, and I get what you're kind of saying there. It's a little tough. So the rest of you would kind of understand that as he's wanting to talk about fishing into our tactics. Does anyone have anything to say in response to that?
At least here, if it comes back, they already know what to do with it.
Okay.
It won't be a foreign foe at this point.
Silowin, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. Sorry, I got distracted.
You're okay. Darius?
Well, I guess if we can bolster the artillery, as I point out the fact that I saw one.
You did.
Could I just maybe ask that I get a room a little bit more towards the shoreline? That way, if I need to jump out the window and run, I have a better chance.
Valderas says to you after pointing you, that was a good idea the first time. Darius, the second time, she looks at you, and she kind of looks at you flirtatiously. With an ornery kind of side grin, she goes, the more you talk, the better it gets. Go on. And she's kind of grinning.
I would imagine he would just kind of look at her and give her like the bardic smirk.
Roll a charisma ability check. Go ahead.
Well, he's gonna ruin it in a second then, just because.
Let's see how many teeth he shows.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
It ain't bloody or nothing. Right, that's what's going to come out. Yeah.
And I just want to clarify, like as he does it, he does like he's throwing out, and so you can tell me if this would be a disadvantage or not. He does throw out there just to kind of like he just like gives her that little, I'm taken, babe, kind of vibe.
As you do that, go ahead and roll your check after you say that.
And so we're talking about, let's see, where is that at? We're talking about just like a straight charisma, or are we talking like
sure, straight charisma?
So that would be a 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She's picking up what you're putting down. She walks past you. As she tucks her sword away as if she's got some things.
Is the door clogged ominously?
Music, people, yeah. Who was that? That was awesome.
That was him blowing his horn to his people.
Oh, sorry, I have music on in the background here.
That's amazing. It's all we're in dance party. I really like it. It's good.
I was just saying, there's a door just closed ominously.
Okay.
Music kind of fit the moment there too.
That's fantastic. And with Sean muted, and I will recenter ourselves again after that. I like the first thing I see is Corey going, "Yeah, I'm with it. Cool, yeah, role play." With that, she picks up what you're putting down there, Darius. And as she walks past you and grins, looks over her shoulder, says, "People have relationships. People rent wagons. People ride horses that aren't theirs. You just keep talking." And she smiles, and with that, she walks over towards Celine. Okay? With that, are you guys okay if we go ahead and wrap for the night? Okay.
So Ramos will post up as he did before, but this time a little bit more on the side of the ship that the thing came from.
Okay.
Yeah. And he'll just look out at it, just.
Okay, that'll work then. So we'll make up the last minute preparations in kind of post before our next game from 6 to 6:30. And then we'll jump in with everything that's going on after that and decide our marching order. Who's going to go in when the daylight breaks and who's staying and who's going and all that good stuff, and get actually into the meat of this adventure now that we're hopefully safe for the rest of the night. I mean, I'm not going to be ridiculous. If I roll a 20 on a 1d20, something bad may happen to us, but I think we've had enough for just a little bit. So, with that...
Did Kiltusk say he was going to have Loki on the deck of the ship wandering around?
He did not yet, but if you would like to have an extra moment here, hint, hint, wink, wink, no problem.
I was going to say, the only thing he would do is, one, he would have his curiosity piqued, never having seen a Loki before.
Go ahead and do your call before we turn this off tonight. I keep forgetting to give you the chance to do that. I apologize. So here's the thing. I can either have you roll 1d4, and you roll it, and I'll say which one of these 4 you are trying to do, whether it's locate for a certain creature, well, you mentioned you were trying to find your other friends to see if they would give you something back like a Marco Polo. Did I pick up on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a monster call thing, which is wisdom for you. That's when you do that. It's not charisma based for your character. It's based on wisdom, like a ranger doing your ranger-like stuff. And remember, you have skill points towards this too. You're actually pretty damn good at this. I'd give you advantage, but with the heavy rain and stuff in the middle of the night, I'm going to make it a straight roll.
Okay, so this is monster calling.
Okay.
I
love it. That's something we can do in the game now. I love that idea of you having that in the back of your pocket, like being able to do that kind of shit. Folks don't use that much in game. That's a neat thing to have. A simple thing, but a cool theatrical thing.
25.
A 25 is really, really good. So if you would please, just for flavor, describe to us what the instrument looks like. Mind you, they're typically made out of dinosaur bone, but your imagination can run wild here, okay? And what this sound is like, and describe the performance, please.
I want to say, like, I pull out, like, this, like, medium-sized horn that, like, I will, like, hold as, like, some sort of, like, trumpet, like a single pipe trumpet. And it's, like, looks like it's made from, like, what would be a Triceratops horn.
Nice.
And I blow into it, and it's like a really deep, like, booming sound comes out of the horn when I blow into it.
And does it resemble any kind of particular creature sound, or does it sound more like a musical note, or just for the hell of it?
I want to say like a low musical note.
Awesome. Okay. Something that differentiates it from other monsters and creatures and stuff. This is something for just your people. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something for my people. So, like, I'm not having that chance of, like, calling something that is not wanted near my area when I'm just trying to make sure everything is safe.
Okay. We've established that there are 5 of you out here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Shh. Rachel, roll me a 1d4. Tell me what you get.
1d4? Okay. Hold on a second. 3.
And roll it one more time with advantage because of how well he did on his check with this.
So roll another d4?
Yeah.
Another 3.
Okay. With that, after he does this, there's an eerie silence on the front of the ship, especially in the group of you all that are listening in and noticing what it is that he's doing. And as he pulls his horn out and does this, Darius, you would notice that Valdera stops as she's walking away from you guys and has one of the own monster calls hanging around her neck, something that she was given as part of the package to come on this hunt. Now seeing how this thing is actually really supposed to be used. You know what I mean? And stops and kind of looks at all as he does this. With a 25, It's an amazingly powerful and well done call out there for just a sign from your people to hope that they're okay in this savage time, in this deep place. And you hear faintly, after about 30 seconds or so, 3 spaced out calls that come back to you that barely break volume above the rain, one louder than the other 2. Probably about half a mile away, inland, and the other 2 much further out and much more distant, the last one being very hard to hear against the heavy rain. They are out there, and they are searching. You wish you'd have heard 5, but you only heard 3. Okay? And there we go. So that'll be the closing moment on that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to stop the recording, and then we'll have a little bit of a bullshit session, kind of discuss what we're wanting to get into next time, and wrap for the night. So once again, I'm Brian Kynes. I want to thank you. If you've watched this and enjoyed it, please give it a like, leave a comment. I love talking to folks about this kind of stuff. Once again, had a really good time. Had some good interactions. Finished up a battle. Good stuff. Best you could hope for. So until next time, next Sunday, we'll see you guys and take care of yourselves.